How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're having a fine Sunday wherever you are. Still a little bit hungover after what turned out to be a pretty good card. Not that I remember most of it, but I hope everyone's well. I just want to give a quick shout out to Paradox and I9 for coming on yesterday. That was really awesome having you guys on. So I really appreciate that. And for everyone who turned up, much love to all of you. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. Looking forward to talking about this one and getting your thoughts, really. Orlando got KCP. I'm just seeing that. How you doing, brother? Yeah, it's exactly what they needed. It's exactly what they needed. There's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA at the moment, obviously, with it being that time. So that's great. That's great for you. That definitely gives you a boost that you need. I'm kind of I didn't really watch the NBA much this season because the Warriors suck, and I'm a little bit of a bandwagoner. Oh wait, looking forward to what? Looking forward to talking about the card, really, because this is about as good as it's going to get for the next couple of weeks with the two stinkers we've got coming up. Approved user. What does that mean? Approved user. That sounds really fancy. That's nice. That is hella nice. Urseg versus Kai Kara France and Taffa versus what? How are we doing, Jay-Z? Taffa. So Walker is going up to heavyweight. Oh man, he's gonna get chinned again, isn't he? He's gonna get fucking chinned again. When I said go up to heavyweight and feel it out, I didn't mean go in there with somebody who's gonna literally rip your head off your shoulders. God damn, that's an interesting choice, but fair play to him. I've heard that Usman and Shavkat is almost done as well. They've almost got that over the line. That's quite a good one. I'm quite happy about that. It obviously confirms that JDM's not available. Johnny Walker's brother. Oh, right. That makes more sense. Shit fight then. Fuck that. Who cares? Johnny Walker's brother is fucking dog shit. Absolutely dog shit. Anthony Smith lost to a fuckboy. Yeah. We did talk about the possibility of it happening. Like I was very reluctant in my selection of Anthony Smith just because you can't really trust the cunt. And the weird thing is, yeah, I suppose Delidzi has to be ranked at light heavyweight now. 303 also confirmed that JDM would destroy Ian Gary 100%. I can't remember much about the latter of the card because obviously I was completely bombed out of my skull at that point. And luckily I had the boys there to help carry things. But I felt like it was very close. I thought the MVP might have won, but the fact that he was clapping before the decision was read, maybe he felt that he'd lost as well. So I don't think that I can really have any complaints. I hit a 7-leg parlay in PFL Friday and a 5-leg parlay in yesterday's UFC. Let's fucking go. Nice one, brother. Who did you pick? I had 3 parlays on that I think I put $20 on each, and they all failed by one. And then at the last minute, I put like $200 on a double of Alex Pereira and Diego Lopez, and managed to make out with about $250 or something like that. So all in all, not a bad night for me either, especially as I took a few L's last week. So that's a PFL is quite a good one to bet on because the betting lines on it, I don't think they tend to stay quite stable. And if you know your stuff, there's a lot of heavy favorites in there, so you can make a decent buck if you bet on PFL. So nice one, brother. It's good to hear. How did you all feel about the card in general? Was there anything that kind of stood out to you? Anything that disappointed you? They're doing an island card, by the way. When is that? Might be another perfect excuse to get over there, because I want to try and do the I'm going to try and do a Cage Warriors card this year and a PFL card this year, and because I've already done Bellator, and if I can get UFC out the way as well, like you out the way, it's looking like a great card. That would be great. I'd like to see how they all compare in a short space of each other. Dana said he wants Gary to headline. After saying he thought the fight was a draw. Dana's been losing his fucking marbles recently. He went on another Jones rant. I noticed another unprompted John Jones rant, which I thought was quite interesting. There's definitely something up with that guy. Like, he's losing the fucking plot. It's just embarrassing at this point. I had Ray, Pfeiffer, DeLizzi, Gary, and Pereira. That's a great one, because that was a risky one. Like, I thought Ray was a little bit wide, and his fight was very close, but he obviously clearly won. I don't like Pfeiffer, but it was fairly clear that Pfeiffer was going to get it done. DeLizzi, like I said, is he's not good, but the GOAT on paper just had a bad night, I guess. And that's just the way things go. And I thought the Gary one, like, I'm going to have to watch the Gary one again, because I really don't know how. At the time, I felt like, I'm not sure about that decision, but he got it done. Fair play to him. Like, I've got to respect it. It was a shitty performance. It was a boring fight, but I kind of said that it might be, because MVP does have a bad habit of kind of having sucky fights, especially when he fights anyone who's half decent. I have a love-hate relationship with Pfeiffer. I think the guy's a twat. I think he's got too much hate energy, like angry energy. And I think what put me off him was, like, it was a very similar thing to when he was kind of taking the handouts from Dana and whatnot, and he was complaining about how he couldn't get a job. And I'm like, you're 24 years old, bruv. You're a jacked white male. Get a fucking job, you cunt. Do you know what I mean? It just rubbed me up the wrong way, and I've kind of felt the guys are betting from there. And then calling out fucking Paul Craig is one of the most pussy call-outs, just because he doesn't like his face, is one of the most pussy call-outs ever. Like, Pfeiffer's basically close to being ranked now, if he's not already, and he's calling out a guy that has no chin. I thought it was a bitch move. Like, fucking, look at somebody between 10 and 15. They're clearly sucking you off. They want you to do well. Be a man and fight a ranked opponent that's actually decent. Is going to progress your career. Calling out, goddamn. Yeah, Dana is cooked, flipping out about Jones pound for pound. Again, it's like he didn't learn from the last time. It's like he got so much backlash about that. He's been taking nothing but solid L's all year. He won't shut up about power slap. And he won't stop kneeling for John Jones. It's bizarre. I used to respect. I've always thought he was an evil asshole, but I kind of respected him for being based and sort of. But now he's just sucking guys off left, right, and center. I guess having to hold the Sheik's hand really broke him. Pfeiffer should fight the winner of CLD. See, that makes more sense to me. But he won't take CLD because he's not ranked and he's a legit dangerous. It was just a bitch move. Like, calling out Paul Craig is a bitch move. Like, Paul Craig was talking about retirement like 18 months ago. He probably shouldn't even still be around. He's already proven that he doesn't have the pop at middleweight. I just thought it was a bitch thing to do. But I guess it's another free win for him. I think he's probably on that vibe at the moment where he wants to build a little bit. Early quick picks for 304. I have Edwards, Aspinall, Allen, or over 2.5, Cap, Paddy, Leroy Duncan, Parkin, and Lauren. Well, I met Lauren, and he was a really nice lad. So I definitely don't mind that one. How you doing, D-Hov? How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Mike? Good to see you, brother. I'm sorry I responded late to some of your comments. For some reason I didn't see them on the in the comments boards. I apologize for that. I do always try to get back to people as quickly as possible, especially you. Like, so sorry about that. Um, yeah, I like Larry. I like the look of that. Let me just have a quick look at 304 just while we're here. And I can maybe give you a more detailed answer to that one. I am probably going to put Leon Edwards in there. You kind of have to. Tom Aspinall, I'm just going to do it because, you know, he is fucking amazing. But I do think Curtis Blades is a really big threat. The Manel Cap one and Mohammed Makayev one makes me nervous because Cap has a very bad tendency to be inactive in his striking. Like he doesn't throw enough sometimes. And I think against somebody like Mohammed Makayev, he's literally gonna have his head against his ball sack the entire night. That's a risky one because Makayev is shit and he can't strike, but he's one of those annoyingly effective guys. And I think Manel, I badly want Manel to win, but it's like, I don't know. Like, it depends what odds you get on that one. I'm assuming Cap is like the favorite. I think Allen's going to fuck Chikadze up. I think Chikadze's not good enough. Wood versus Pineda. I think Wood should win that fight, but again, it's tricky. And I like Colin Lauren against Ramon Tavares. I think his wrestling will be good enough. And Lucas Bursky's fucking terrible. But Mick Parkin as well is slow and ploddy and has no cardio. So that's a risky one as well. To be fair, the early part of this card is not great. Who else? Yeah, Duncan I think will destroy Brychek. Sam Peterson should probably beat up Kiefer Crosby as well. I like Sam Peterson at welterweight. I know he got knocked out really badly in his first fight in the UFC, but it was at lightweight. So, and I think Marcin Prachnio is going to beat Modestas Bukauskas for what that's worth. So that's kind of where I'm at. And Paul Craig would sub Pyfer. That would make me very, very happy. How you doing, Chris Craig? Good to see you, bro. Let me go back a second because I realize I've missed. Yeah, Dana has been acting real strange since he started his new health regime and drinking the bone broth shit. I just think he's well, yeah, that probably has something to do with it. I just think something's happened to that guy. Something's definitely happened to that guy. He's acting very strange. It's borderline embarrassing. I kind of feel like it's gone downhill since he slapped his wife, to be honest. He seems rattled. That Ige Lopez fight was a banger, absolutely. And you know what? Yeah, even though it turned out to be a little bit of the whole thing was a little bit of a shit show. It turned out to be a great fight, but part of me as well is like, I know Ige's really good, but Ige gave Lopez all he could handle, and now I'm not sure how Lopez does against the top of the division. I know it's a very hard gauge to make because obviously, like, three different weight classes at in the space of 24 hours or whatever the fuck it was, but yeah. Pyfer versus Chris Curtis would be fun too. Pyfer wouldn't take that fight. There's no way. There's no way he takes that fight. I don't trust Cap at this point. I hope he wins though. I'm the same. I'm a huge Cap fan. Like when I found out he was being added to 304, that was another one where I was like, yeah, I have to turn up for this. Because I love that dude. I might even try what Brutally does and maybe try and go to the press conference as well. Because I think that could be fun. It's only like a 2-hour train journey from where I live, so it might be worth the hassle. We're going, mate. Lol, bone broth. Yeah. 3 weight cuts though for Lopez. I'm not sure if they would. No, the thing is that he obviously was weight cutting to get to 145, and the fact that he landed on 155 so perfectly a day later kind of shows that he wasn't, or they'd informed him beforehand. And then obviously he rehydrated and ate in the meantime, and then weighed in again at 165 or wherever it was. It's dodgy because this is what I hate about Ali Abdulaziz, that little rat fuck. While we get to him, Ige was in. People are talking about Ige jumped in at short note, and it is. Don't get me wrong, him doing that was sick, but he was in the middle of a training camp, and he didn't have to cut weight at all. So I'm kind of willing to give Lopez a little bit of a slide on that one. I guess. But he definitely deserves a top 5 opponent after that. I'm just a little bit less convinced on Lopez than I was, despite the circumstances, but I still think he deserves a step up. But overall, I thought it was an enjoyable card. Like, obviously, I kind of fucked everyone over by picking Yuri and then betting on Alex. That was a dirty move. I just had a sudden inkling in the middle of the card that, like, hang on a second, I just see it going this way now. And while it was sad to see Yuri get smacked out like that, I do love money, so fuck him, I guess. Fuck him. And he did kind of fuck it up. You know, he didn't fight in the smartest way, so tough noogie, I guess. Dana has basically become an elite scumbag. He no longer has the same values he had during the UFC's early run to about 2010. Like, fighter pay increased every year until 2025 when the UFC blew up. I mean, he's genuinely an evil bastard. He's genuinely an evil piece of shit. He just is. There's no nice way of putting that. But the thing is, I could at least relate to it to some extent. You know, when he was like, at least he'd stick to his guns on certain things. But doing that now is just, I don't know. The way he's behaving now is like, you've got the money, stop being a cunt. And I know it's not just his decision. I know it's not purely his decision, but yeah, I just don't love it. I think it's kind of scummy all round, if I'm being real. Yeah, you prick. It's true. I fucking am. I am a prick. You got me on that one. You know that by now. Come on. Massively, and fighter pay is now 20% less than it was 10 years ago, which is crazy to think, especially down at the lower end. There's no excuse for it anymore. Yeah, his mum said, but the thing is that even though his mum did have very choice things to say about him, his mum comes off as a bit of a cunt as well, if I'm being honest. She doesn't seem like a very good mother. I got like Ronda Rousey mum vibes, and yeah, she seems like a twonk, to be honest. Apparently, I've got to give another shout out to Paradox, because Paradox obviously jumped on the live stream yesterday and was fantastic, man. It was really great having you on there. I don't know if you're here or not, but really appreciated having you over. And it was great having I9s on there as well. You guys got some really good conversations going. I felt a bit bad because obviously with the three of us on screen, it was very difficult to keep up with the chat. So I apologize to people who were in there who weren't getting a lot of their a lot of their questions answered and their comments read out. You know, it's not obviously something I want to go, but it's very difficult when you've got three people talking at the same time. It's very, very difficult to. And besides that, I was like fucking hammered as well. So I do apologize. I mean, I do end up missing chats in here as well somehow, despite there only being like, you know, a handful of people in here at times. So apologies to that as well. But what do you guys think of the what do you guys think of the Usman Shavkat fight if that goes down? How do you see that one going? Any early picks for the Denver card? It's looking so shit so far. So the Denver card is next week, right? And I know I sound like a casual right now, but I legitimately don't care about next week. They're still calling it the. Let's have a look. Yeah. It's a very light card. There's three cards on the. It's saying there's three fights on the prelims. Well, it's 2 weeks away, I guess. So I'm assuming they're gonna add. I didn't realize there was no card on next week. Perfect. I'm actually kind of happy. We could use a break. I think Abdul Razak Al Hassan beats the fuck out of Cody Brundage. I think Christian Rodriguez beats Julian Erosa. I like Gabriel Bonfim against Angelusa. Mike Davis is off the card. I don't know why that's still there. Unless something's changed that I don't know about. Muslim Salikov against Ponzi. Oh, that's a nasty one. Might go for Ponzi in that one. Andre Petrosky versus Josh Friend. That's another terrible fight as well. Yeah, that card's fucking awful. I hope that Stipe Sparks Jones Dana will be really pissed. I've been saying this for a while. We made a video like at the beginning of the year, which was titled "Fighters You Want to See Most Get Flatlined in 2024." Nobody fucking watched it, and I picked John Jones, and I went into a very long fucking reasoning as to why I thought that. I just think he's a dickhead. I don't want to see him get fucking brutally knocked out. I'd love that. I totally agree. Um, Shavkat should beat Usman by youth alone. I'll probably have to agree with that. I think it's a great fight, though. I'm still very high on Usman. I don't think he's done. But if I was him, I'd probably go to middleweight because he's getting nowhere near a title shot now, and he should be in those kind of fights. What a shit card last night, bro! Thank you so much for turning up. You were awesome, and you really helped carry me through some of those parts because I was fucking smashed. So appreciated, bro. We definitely have to do more stuff in the future, and same with Paradox as well. It was a shit card overall. And to be honest, yeah, like I can't remember that much of it. Like I genuinely can't. And I'm never going to go back to go and watch the live because it was like 7 hours long. So maybe somebody can inform me of how. I don't really remember that much about the card, if I'm being real, which says a lot. Well, Macy Chasson getting performance of the night kind of summarizes it. Very bizarre. By the way, it did feel good watching MVP piece Gary up in round 2. It did feel great. Gary is I said he'd win, and I said he'd implement the grappling, and that would shock him. That would be enough to deal with MVP because MVP is. I hated to admit it, I like MVP, and when he's flashy, he's fun to watch, but he's just not that well rounded. He's not a great mixed martial artist. He's basically great at taekwondo, and that's it. That's all he's got. So I felt like Ian Gary would stumble his way through that, and he did. And it just looks bad now. And the thing is that Ian Gary is now. Well, I know he's called out Shavkat. That's not happening. I think he gets slapped. But no, it was good to see MVP touch him up a little bit. But it's like some other people said earlier. It kind of proves that JDM would slap him up, and I hope it happens. I hope they do JDM and Gary next because it lines up now. If they do Shavkat and Usman, that's kind of the only fight left for JDM and Gary, and I think JDM would tuck him in. Time to get some fishing in can. Have a great one, bro. Weston, you're a legend as always. Really appreciate you coming, turning up whenever you do. I'm always worried about you in the water, but you seem kind of pro by now. Ponzi should win. Salikov is like 40. I think Ponzi's quite old as well, though, right? Ponzi's like 37, 38, and he's been chinned a few times. There was a time when Ponzinibbio was third in the welterweight division. Third. I don't know. He has fallen off a little bit, but he did get badly injured. From what I recall, he was out for like 2 years, and that took a lot of his prime away. So I'd probably take Ponzi in that fight. Again, Muslim Salikov is old and he's not that good. I'll have to go back and watch the live stream. Witness the accent get thicker when the drinks start going down, bro. I've got no recollection of how it goes. Like I'm always scared to go back and look at them when I get that fucked because I have no idea what I'm saying half the time. So there could have been some very revealing stuff going on. I don't know. 100%, we've got to make some videos together. Jamal Hill versus Yuri. We 100% do, and that's 100% what fight should be next. They have to. They've got the history there. I mean, you could literally just do the I'm coming and then the what she said things back to back, and then that would be enough to sell the fight. And I know that Hill thinks he can slide back into another fight with Alex. You fucking can't. But it would be extremely hilarious if they shaft Ankalaev again. I just want to see him get shafted. Like I saw a very irritating tweet from Ratfuck, what's his name? Ali Abdulaziz saying Ankalaev is the best heavyweight in the world right now. Which really, I don't know, that everything that guy says annoys me. I don't think Ankalaev is. And by the way, yeah, this might interest some of you. According to like the live odds that I've been seeing out there, Ankalaev is a -200 favorite against Alex Pereira from what I've been seeing. Maybe someone's fucking talking shit because I can't imagine how they've come up with that. But apparently, yeah, Alex Pereira is at +175 right now, which is just, I don't understand it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that should be next. Shit event, but went from a 4 to a 6 during the stare down and from a 6 to an 8 after Yuri got slept. 100% brutally, man. Just a reminder to everyone as well, if you're here and you're not subscribed to Brutally Honest MMA, get over there and subscribe immediately. I realized midstream that you were doing a live one as well. And I don't know why I didn't ask you about that, because it could have been an opportunity to do something. Because I don't really like doing watch alongs, but it felt like for the numbered cards, you kind of got to do it. So I might have to go back and rewatch that. Just while I got a long car ride tomorrow. But yeah, I think the way the end of the card, the way the card ended, definitely saved it for sure. Because it wasn't the best card. Yuri should take some time off, 100%. And I saw the video he made about I saw the video he made this morning about he even needs to level up or quit, and I thought that was quite sad, to be honest, but quite realistic. I think he does need to take some time off, and he needs to have some conversations about his defense, because the one issue that I've got now, I think Alex Pereira is pound for pound number one, but performances like that from his opponents are going to give plenty of ammunition to his detractors to say no, he's not, because when they do really dumb stuff like he did in that fight, it kind of lowers the, you know. Where have you heard Usman versus Shavkat? Somebody posted it to me. One of my followers sent it to me in a DM. They said it's not confirmed yet. Apparently they're targeting it. When was it? I think it's 306 is what they're targeting. Which should be, like I said, it's just hypothetical, right? It definitely hasn't been signed, but I know that's what they're targeting, and it makes sense given what we know about the JDM situation and that there's no one else really to fight. It kind of makes sense that would be the one to make, and Usman's been out for a while as well, so MVP shits the bed when grappling. He absolutely does, and we knew this going into it. MVP is not that good. Like he's got a great highlight reel, but let's be honest, yeah. He came out during the interviews and said, "Oh, because people are fighting in Bellator, they say I'm fighting cans." No. You were fighting a lot of cans, and I'm an MVP fan, but he got a lot of layups in Bellator. The only real good fighters he fought, or somewhat good fighters, were Lima, who he lost to by a brutal KO, and then obviously decisioned him, which was a bit and Logan Storley, who's not even that good. He got chinned out a couple of months ago. And he's not really that, and he probably should have won that fight. It was a bit of an iffy decision. But those are only the two notable guys. I mean, his next most notable win was against Paul Daly, who was done at that point. And it was a shit fight. So this doesn't surprise me. His MVP's best win is probably Kevin Holland, which kind of says it all. I want Shavkat Gary. Oh, I would love that. Based on what we saw. And the thing is, if the Shavkat, I'd rather see Shavkat and Gary than Shavkat versus Usman. But I'll take the Shavkat and Usman fight if that's what they're doing, because then it will force Gary to fight JDM, and I like that. Is Ponzi that old? You're right. Maybe he had bad injuries. I think he is. I think he is. Maybe I'm gonna have egg on my face in a minute. Trying to spell Ponzinibbio now. There we go. Santiago Ponzinibbio. 37. Well, I've got it bang on there. That was a bit lucky. Ponzi, Bonfim, C-Rod, Fremd. I don't trust Petrovsky at all. Petrovsky is a balloon animal. He's a balloon animal. He's got a bit of power for like 2 minutes, and then he's done. No gas tank whatsoever. Shit fighter. But the problem is that Josh Fremd is quite shit as well. So it's just a case of trying to decide who you think is more crap. And that's what you've got to go with, really. I'm personally not going to touch that one, because even though I think Petrovsky's shit, I don't trust Fremd either. He's had some bad losses as well. I meant the UFC break is a good time for you to get fishing, cunt. You're absolutely right. It's something that I need to get on, because I've got my son starting Muay Thai classes next week, and I've set him up for some stuff. But we're going to be off on holiday in August, so if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now. Like, it needs to be done. Gary ducked Colby. There's no fucking way he takes Shavkat before a title fight. Difficult to say that one. I don't know. You could definitely put it that way. I'm sure you're trolling right now, but I think Gary would 100% take that fight. I think he fucks him up. How many sticks at Macy? You mean how many sticks would I put in Macy Chasson? I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw her doing an interview the other day, I actually thought she looked all right. So maybe half is my answer to that. Ponzi looks frail. Can see him getting finished. Yeah, he's definitely lost it. He was really good at one point, but he like I said, that injury and the time he had off, and then he's had some bad losses coming back. So I don't love it. And the age gap between him and Sadikov is not great. It's a tricky one to pick. I could see both of them potentially winning that. You don't get a title rematch after one fight when you get slumped in 2 minutes. 100%. 100%. It shouldn't go that way. You should. I mean, I don't think even with the Yuri situation, I don't think they should have given him. I don't think he should have had the rematch either. I really don't think so. It should have been. They should have waited. Again, this whole thing was a fuck up, like a really big fuck up. Ank is getting too much hype. He's going to get read like a book by Alex. This is the thing, because he's dumb and he's a cliff dweller. What he's going to do is he's going to try and strike with Alex for the first round to prove a point, and he's going to get chinned out. He's going to get his legs chewed up as well. And the thing is that Alex Pereira's takedown defense is actually getting better and better. You shouldn't get a title shot over in the last 2 years. All he's done is fight Johnny Walker twice, and one of them he should have been DQ'd. His list of wins is not that good. If you look at Ankalaev's record, it's not that good. And all he does is cry and complain and bitch. So fuck him. I hope he gets passed over again. I've said it enough now, yeah. Alex Pereira needs to go to heavyweight as soon as possible. And the thing is that it could very much line up for the end of the year. If Tom beats some Blades, he needs to do that immediately, regardless of what happens with Jones. Or maybe even the funny thing is, it's more likely that Jones will give Alex a fight, but we're not going to see Jones until the end of the year. So if I was him, I'd go up to heavyweight, fight Aspinall, go after that legacy. That's what I'd do. I don't know what you guys think about that. Yeah, throw a sub to Brutally Honest, absolutely. Ankalaev don't deserve that title shot coming off a no. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm winning. Exactly what I'm saying. He should be fighting somebody like Rakic, in my opinion. Because all he's done is fucking complain. Or you could do Ankalaev and Hill. I'd go for that all day long. Ankalaev fights dumb. It's because he is dumb. His striking's not good. And he thinks he's a good striker. Again, his takedowns are good, but I feel like Alex is getting better every time at dealing with that shit. I'm going to chill him. I'm going to chin him out. Yuri may not be as great as we think. Remember, 42-year-old Glover beat the ass off him before the last 50 seconds. Thing is, yeah, Yuri... I saw a video that Guru did earlier on, and I rarely watch his stuff, but I figured I wanted to see his reaction to it. And he's right. Like, when Yuri wins, it's spectacular, and when he loses, he looks really dumb losing, and that's the problem, because he makes very silly mistakes that you shouldn't do. So that's my issue with... That's my problem with Alex right now, because I see, like I said, I see him as pound for pound number one, but no one's going to agree with that because his opponents do dumb shit in there. They're all going to talk about the asterisks he has against his name, like Hill getting distracted by the ref and Yuri being dumb twice, and then he might not have won against Jan Blachowicz. It's all a bit silly now. But yeah, you're right. It could be that. And I think Yuri is good at what he does. It's just that when it doesn't work, he does look terrible. Ankalaev is so overrated. He has no dog in him. Tapped to Paul Craig in the last 10 seconds of a fight he had won. Yeah, that was an embarrassing loss. And he was beating Paul's ass for the majority of that fight. And just let it slip through his... I'm sure they're like, I don't know, disfigured fingers. Yeah, Lima might be the best fighter that MVP fought, possibly. But again, Lima was kind of at the later stages of his career. So it is what it is. But Yuri is great, but his style does not match up well against Alex's style. 100%. You can't go in there with your hands down and your chin up and dive in against someone like Alex Pereira. Again, I was so stupid in veering to Yuri that I'm glad I didn't bet on him, that I bet on Alex. Because it suddenly occurred to me, maybe in the middle of my drunken stupor, like, hang on, Yuri's dumb and he's not going to do what we think he should do. And he did exactly that. Grapple him. Like, what are you doing? It's the IQ. Where you going, Frankie? Sorry, hang on. What do you think about Arlovsky getting the side? I thought that was disgraceful. They had the whole video vignette for Michelle Waterson, who's never won a title. Arlovsky's had how many fights in the UFC? And he's been a champion, and he gets like a side mention. I thought that was a disgrace. I know he's got like a massive win-loss record, but not having anything prepared for him or having the conversation beforehand was a joke. And then you're fucking like Michelle Waterson gets the hero send-off. I'm not saying take hers away. I'm saying do both, basically. It's weird. Where are you going, Frankie? I'm going to Spain, Italy, and Germany for August. So I'm gonna have the little lad with me. We're gonna do a little like European tour. He's really into like cars. So I want to take him to like there's an automobile museum or something in Germany that I think he'd really get a kick out of. So I'm gonna drag him to that. That should be sweet. Lol, off and on, off and on. It's great to have you here, Crystal. I saw you on yesterday, and sorry again. I wanted to apologize to you as well for not answering the messages as much as we could. It turned out to not be that kind of stream. It was just so difficult. So I apologize to all those people that I didn't get back to. Crystal, I'm learning how to do slow mode. You shut up. Yeah, Weston's got full, and Weston knows, you see, that I'm retarded when it comes slow when it comes to reading the comments because I'm a rambling prick. But I try to give as much detail in my answers as I can to you guys, or else what's the point in being here, right? So yeah, let's not bully Weston. He's doing his thing. In the first fight, hang on a sec. Well, I think they'll give Yuri the rematch surely because Yuri won the first round in the first fight. I get it. I get why they did it. And Ankalaev was clearly pissing around. I mean, I don't care what Ankalaev fans say. I guarantee you the UFC went to him first and said, "You up for this or what?" And he went, "Nah, I want to do November." I mean, I know I haven't fought in 9 months and I only beat up a guy who's got a glass chin, but I want it in this place and at this time, or you can fuck off. And they've gone, all right, we'll be fucking off then. And they called Yuri. So I get why they did it. I just think that, again, it's just such a shame that it went down that way because I think Yuri actually needed one more. But the bottom line of it is, yeah, the result would not have been any different. I mean, it's very clear now. It's just as some of you guys have been saying, it's not a good stylistic matchup for him. I hope Ank has some success early on the feet so he gets comfortable and then Alex starches him. That would be brilliant. But the thing is, though, I do also believe that if Ankalaev gets out of that first round, it might become a problem. Because while I do think Alex has improved a little bit in the takedown defense, I can see it being a very boring one where he gets a very similar thing that happened to him in the first round against Jan Blachowicz, where he just got taken down and sat on. Imagine Pereira versus Gane. It's hard to pick against Pereira against anyone these days. It really is. If you beat that guy, you've got to be a really good grappler, and you've got to be willing to hop into the fire in order to grab those legs because he's so susceptible to those takedowns. You know, it just doesn't look like anyone's willing to do it. Fuck, forgot you were going live, bro. What up, Mandem? I was just talking about you, Paradox, and what a fantastic job you did yesterday. It was awesome having you on, and we've definitely got to do more stuff like that. Like, you were great, man. You had some really great takes, and I really appreciated having you on. For any of you who missed it, Paradox, you were on for what, 4 or 5 hours or something, bro? You did it. You put in a shift, which is sick. And if you ever do lives, I'm more than happy to to push them out on Twitter or jump on or whatever, because I thought you had some really good takes. And it was just fun having a chat. It was great. Yeah, Paradox was awesome. Really, really awesome. There was a lot of people streaming last night, or what do you call it, doing a watch along last night, obviously because the card was big. So I was really pleased with the turnout. Like, it was really nice of you guys to turn up. It was fantastic. Sorry if I'm falling back. Good morning, Vitriol. Nice to see you, brother. How are things over there in lovely Japan? Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the card. Doesn't sound like anyone did. Oi! I did an all-nighter to watch England. I'm a fucking mess. I bet you're grateful for that shit. They were shocking. England are shit. But I said that, sorry to all you non-soccer fans right now, or non-football fans. I said England was shit going into the tournament, and they really got away with one yesterday. I was actually hoping they'd lose because I'm fucking tired of them. I think they're dog shit. They're gonna get bounced by Switzerland in the next round as well, definitely. Japan, at least England clutched up. I didn't want them to. Dana press conference pisses me off. What the fuck is up with his Glazing Jones? Yeah, we had a little bit of a chat about that. It's bizarre. It seemed to just be brought up out of nowhere again. Or unless it was, did somebody mention perhaps that Alex Pereira should be pound for pound number one, and then he went off on a fucking ramble again, probably shitting on Alex's win in the process. So essentially, I can imagine it going that way, where he's taken down. First of all, he shot on Makachev, and now he's shitting on Alex just to boost this fucking. Oh, it's awful. If it was for anybody other than Jones, I could probably take it. But the guy has done so many things to ruin the integrity of this sport, and to suck him off like that, not once but twice. In fact, he did it 3 times because he did it off after the presser for 302. He went and did a podcast about it, and now he's done it after 303. It's like, we get it. You love the guy. Fuck off. He doesn't deserve that much. Again, I hate the word glazing, but it's exactly what it is. I hate how people are saying Alex hasn't fought a wrestler and then suck Khabib off for fighting dudes with no takedown defense. See, Aaron, it doesn't. It's a door that doesn't swing both ways, and that's why people hate Dagestani fans. It's why we all hate them, like as a collective fan base. It's not the Dagestani fighters that we necessarily hate. It's this bullshit. It's this nonsense. I was going over Khabib's record the other day when we were going to do the robbery list, and it's even worse than I remember. Looking back at that guy's record is embarrassing. Like his first 16 fights, he got to 16-0 by fighting people with a collective, I think it's like a 34-34 record overall. And most of the people he fought either had one win, like one fight and one win, or like 2-3 fights maximum. That guy's entire legacy, that 28-0 thing or 29-0 thing is utter bullshit. I'm not saying Khabib wasn't good, but his record is shoddy. He's got like 5 good wins. Without the Brummy Bellingham, England are shit. And to be honest, Bellingham was shit as well. They were all shit. I genuinely felt embarrassed to live in England watching them play. I felt embarrassed. And I know that some of you, when you occasionally watch the football, you're like, wow, man, these England, like, we invented the sport and we can't fucking win anything. It's awful. I'm on the Frosty Jacks. I'm a heathen. Yeah, Yuri let me down so bad. But the thing is, yeah, I'm kind of like, I feel bad about doing this because obviously I did pick Yuri in the chat, and then literally in the middle of the card, I was like, yeah, something's going down. I think he's going to get smoked. And then I managed to make out with that really good parlay. When I was drunk, I get a little bit more risky. So I think I put $200 down on the double of Lopez and Alex. So I think it was 200 for 450, something like that. So he personally didn't let me down. I just feel sorry for the guy. I just do. Aaron Tats, good point. Aaron Tats has always got the good points. Outside of like Justin Gaethje, that's the thing. And Justin Gaethje, I don't think he's as good of a wrestler as people make out him to be, because he's been taken down by a few people. I think Justin Gaethje doesn't wrestle because he knows that at this level, he's not that good at it. To keep it standing. Western, all my homies depressed. I think Powhatan is the best striker in UFC history. Double champ with only striking and in the quickest time. He only lost to Izzy, arguably one of the best strikers in the UFC. 2-weight champion kick. Bro, Larry, I completely 100% agree with you. And I also think that, like, because this is another thing I was going to say. I actually have this in one of the captions. I was going to ask, has Alex gone past Adesanya's legacy already? Has he already got a better legacy in the sport? And I would argue that he definitely does. I know Izzy had 6 middleweight title defenses, but a lot of them were leg kick victories. And I don't like to be that guy that shits on Izzy just because I like Alex. But I find that Izzy fans do it so much that I've almost got no choice but to use that as my framing argument, which I know is weak as fuck. But I do think he's I think going up and doing it at light heavyweight, which is really his real weight class, he's showing. And I mean, he is flatlining fools. Like, he's fucking guys up. Izzy doesn't fuck guys up like that. Not like that. apart from to Alex, apparently. It makes the pressure on, and then of course Izzy instantly posted after the fight that edit of him knocking Alex out, making it all about him. So this is exactly the reason why I don't like the guy. Yuri can come back though, but still depressing. Oh, he can come back. I mean, there's always going to be fun fights you can do with Yuri, and Yuri pretty much fucks up everybody else at light heavyweight. He just isn't a good matchup with Alex. It's that simple. And Yuri's already fucked up most of the good guys at light heavyweight. Do him and Hill next. That has to be the fight. Outside of Conor, what's the biggest fight you see happening before the end of the year? It's going to probably be Ilya. It's probably going to be Ilya and Max, I would say. I'm probably forgetting some, but that's the biggest one that comes to mind, I would say. Because it feels like this could be, especially if Holloway wins, it'd be massive. And obviously, if Ilya wins, it just it solidifies him more. But off the top of my head, maybe there's a few you could remind me of. But I think the first one that popped to mind was Ilya and Max. Any Izzy Cope since last night, plenty of it. His fans have been out in mass talking shit, of course, because of course he picked against Alex again for the 4th time in a row. He went on his little shitty YouTube channel, and I know about shitty YouTube channels because I have one myself. He did the predictions last week, and he picked Alex to get smoked. Was his exact words. He just can't help himself. He's just such a salty little bitch. Yeah, Paradox said the same. Izzy and Ilya and Max, I'm kind of in agreement. Yuri can still whoop most guys in the division, and Alex has a few fights left before he retires, and maybe they are at heavyweight. Best case scenario, Alex moves up and Yuri regains the belt by KO in Hill. I don't hate that. People forget, yeah, that Alex is old. He's 37. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, he needs to go to heavyweight now. I would tell Ankalaev to go do one. I know a lot of people won't like that. And if he's going to do the Ankalaev fight, do it as soon as possible. Basically say to Ankalaev, right, fight me in September or whatever, or fuck off. Because he's going to be fresh as a daisy after that fight, and he's probably going to be ready to go in a couple of months. I would say to him, right, let's just get this fight over with. Fight me in September. If he refuses, just say, right, fuck you, I'm going to heavyweight. I got pulled over yesterday doing 180 in an 80 zone. Shit! My music was so loud and I wasn't looking in the rearview mirror. So apparently for a couple of minutes, I was in a police chase I didn't know about. And Japanese guys, they don't fuck about, bro. You don't want to be going to you don't want to be getting arrested in those countries like Japan, China, Thailand, because they just see it when foreigners take the piss. They like to make an example. But Jesus, bro, I'm glad you're still out on the streets. That's good. Great takes such as Dan Ige is the GOAT. I mean, that whole thing just made me. I know it was great for him stepping up, but just seeing Ali Abdelaziz with his big smug grin on his face while he drove him to the arena, I'm just like, I don't think there's a cunt in MMA that I hate more than that little weasel. I genuinely hate that guy. I would not be upset to see something very sinister happen to him because I just think he's a cock. Proper hate that guy. I didn't even get a ticket because the policeman couldn't be bothered to deal with a gaijin. Being white is amazing. It's worked out for me, I gotta say. Being white has definitely been helpful in my life. The white card is a thing. But I guess there's different situations for different people to take advantage of whatever race you are. You just have to know when to use it. You gotta know when to take that card out, you know? Sometimes being white can very much work against you. Like when they think you're like a arrogant piece of shit that can do what you want. Genuinely, I'm a fucking nerd for fighting, but 4 pints and I'll start worshipping Dan Ige. Man, we've all got those male crushes that we can't. Like I had a major man crush on Jason Jackson, which instantly went away when I saw him fight live. It's like I felt nothing. It's that thing in it. It's like those crushes you have, man. When you see somebody get whopped, it's like, yeah, you're just not that guy, are you? And you just instantly go off them. I can understand, yeah, why females like lose love for their boyfriends when they see them getting fucked up. How they instantly just like, oh, like, no, I don't want to go anywhere near you. Do you know what I mean? I get it now. Pound for pound, headshot head. Yeah, Chris Leon's in my blood. Paradox. Danny Gay was chilling, burning a spliff, and Dana said, "Oi, blood, get to the octagon." Apparently, he was getting a massage, and they tried to contact him, and he didn't answer because he was getting jerked off, probably. Imagine that you're in the middle of getting wanked off, and then you get a call saying you're fighting the co-main event of International Fight Week. Hold that nut. Do you know what I mean? Hold it in for after the fight. Dan Ige was bunning up in the crowd, low key. I seen him. Watch this heat, or what's that? What's this Western? Because I can't click on it in Restream. Let me see if I can. I'll throw it on the favorites so I can get back to it. Apologies for the spam. I'll cut it out. It's all good, man. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't really qualify as spamming. Half of them aren't English anyway. What do you mean half of them aren't English? Did I miss something? Sorry if I did. It's good to have you back as well, by the way, Mountain Man. Sick name. All I do is cook Western. John Jones video next, and it will be my best video. I could do with a John Jones hate piece after all the glazing that's been going on around here. And you're pretty good at cooking, so I'd very much enjoy that. I said on the live a few days ago, you change your mind last minute, bro. This is what I do, though. I'm an absolute snake in the grass. What can I say? Like, if there's anybody out there who bet on Yuri for my advice, and I don't know why you would do that, I'm deeply sorry. I absolutely stabbed you in the back, and I do it again, and I probably will do it again. I'll probably do it again next week or the week after. I did change my mind. It's just it's the way I really got to thinking about it, and I don't know if getting drunk makes me smarter or what, but I'm really good at that. Like, whenever I get drunk towards the end of a card, the last few months I've literally been putting massive bets on for the last 2 fights to the card, and I've been managing to, let me just touch wood there, I don't fuck it up, but I've been managing to land pretty well. So maybe I've got some drunk future telling powers or something. I don't know. I might need to keep doing that. Sorry, blood, no more caps. I'm joking. Weston's doing a great job controlling this chat. It's brilliant. I'm still hetero crushing on Poirier. So sad to think he's done. Apparently he was on the, because I couldn't hear it because obviously I've managed to misplace my headphones somewhere. I've got no idea where they are. But I couldn't listen to anything that was going on, which was probably a blessing in disguise, because seeing as I can't stand listening to Joe Rogan these days. Or DC, I think he was on as well. But I heard that Poirier was on the panel. So I'm doubly glad I fucking missed that. I don't like Dustin Poirier. We know that. I think he's a phony and a simp. And I don't appreciate males lowering the gender for tarts. Maybe that's a bit too harsh. That is the mother of his children. Maybe I should tone it down a little bit. But no, it is sad that he could be done. I mean, I get the odd, like, that's what it is. It's a hetero crush. It's man worship, is what it is. And I'm perfectly comfortable admitting that. You know? That's Paradox vid I posted. Yo, perfect. Yeah. Have you put a new one up as well, Paradox? Yeah. That'd be something for me to listen to before I go to sleep tonight. I'm still like semi hungover because I went to that barbecue I was telling you guys about, which turned out to be really good. My son ended up having a good time with a couple of like young. That sounded wrong. I was about to say a good time with a couple of young girls. That sounded so wrong. It was my friend's daughters, and they were playing together. He's 4. There was nothing sinister going on. Just having a good time. No idea why anyone would have picked Jiri. I thought he would grapple. And not be completely stupid. But then as I was thinking about it, as the card was going on, I was like, it's Jiri. Of course he's going to get chinned. It's just the way he is. It's a live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing. And to be honest, he could have been done in the first round. If that fight was 5 seconds longer, he would have got first round KO'd, running in like this and just getting clipped. He just doesn't learn. Fuck Rogan and Cormier, they're shit at their job. I can't stand both of those pricks. Rogan, it's like I was saying this live on stream yesterday. Rogan, when I first started watching, I used to see him as like, oh my god, this guy is like. I used to love the way he'd hype up the fights, the way he'd you know, he seemed to be the guy for the occasion. But the more and more I've been watching MMA over the years, you just realize the guy doesn't know fucking anything. He basically spams the same opinions over and over again. And the game's moved on. I get it, yeah. The thing is, the guy's obviously got his fingers in like 50, 100 million different pies, which I respect. But it's like, yeah, he's not, let me put the overlay back on. He's just not that guy. Everyone drop a dislike on the stream because Frankie's a Poirier hater. From what I understand it, dislikes and likes have the same effect. So feel free. If you think I was a cunt for that take, feel free to drop a dislike. Couldn't get, but don't unsubscribe. Let's not go too far. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and then you just get Cormier every time he sees wrestling, doesn't seem to understand that the rules are different now. And that's not enough to win you a round. If you wrestle someone to the ground and not do anything, and then you get punched in the face twice, you've lost the round, cunt. And he needs to stop pushing the narrative that. And it's just the excitement he gets. Who was it that you said got a takedown? I think it was fucking hell. He said, "Oh, good takedown." I could mildly hear it in the corner, and then the person instantly stuffed it. And I'm like, "You're just an idiot, mate. Shut up." Japan, yeah, it doesn't make sense in hindsight, but yeah, you got that autism. You can. That's the thing, man. Betting on autism usually doesn't fail. Gotta be real. Autism really fails. For some reason, I think Poirier has a Chris Benoit scenario in his retirement. I said that about Michael Chandler. I think I'm calling the Chris Benoit situation with Michael Chandler. Again, do I want it to happen? Of course not. But I'm concerned. The way that Michael Chandler's been coping over the last few weeks. Wasn't he at the back in UFC303 warming up? Oh my god. I'm sure I saw that somewhere. Maybe I made it up. I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely if there's the potential for somebody going on a fucking killing spree, it's that guy. 100%. Poirier is a good dude, but sus sometimes. Definitely a sore winner, but other than that, he's a solid dude. Paradox is just the whole. I'm always very wary of people who have a very wholesome persona. It bothers me. You're going in there to fucking kill people. Leave the wholesome shit out of it. I don't believe you're that person. And again, the way Poirier has reacted to certain wins and the way Poirier reacts better to losses than he does to wins, which is very bizarre. Maybe what we could do, if we wanted to do a poll on something, let me have a think. Maybe we could do Usman and Shavkat. Who people think wins the Usman and... That's why I modded you, Paradox. What's wrong with Dustin's wife? She's a bimbo. It's not really much her fault. It's more the fact that, like, she probably sucks other dudes off when he's not around, number one. And then number two, the way he simps over her is just really kind of cringe to me. So it basically has nothing to do with her. She's also not that hot. Maybe that's why. She cheats on him. I love it. I love how we're morphing into one, like, we've got like a hive mind thing going on. It's like as soon as I say something, you guys think or as soon as you guys type things, it's bizarre. We definitely have some kind of hive mind situation going on in here. I don't really dislike her. I just think Poirier is corny and a bit phony, and that's why I don't like him. He's a very fun fighter, and he's a legend in the game, and I wouldn't shit on his career. It's obviously a bit, but I'm not going to be crying any tears about the fact that he never got a belt. I can live with it, personally. Not that bothered. Not that bothered. I think Poirier is just below being too wholesome, so he's all good. If he became any more positive, wholesome, I'd be suspicious. He's not as bad as Michael Chandler, where it's like, American Psycho vibes, which I'm reading at the moment. I cannot. Who in the chat recommended American Psycho to me? I can't remember what it was. Somebody recommended American Psycho. I've been reading it, and it's bloody marvelous. D. Devlin is way better. The thing about D. Devlin is, yeah, she's just down. Like she's like the the way old school women used to be. Your man is clearly cheating on you. He's doing fucked up stuff, but you're just by his side and with him from the beginning, all the way. You know those good old females that would turn a blind eye to the old dick slinging? Those angels. And that's what she comes across as to me. Maybe she leans into it a little bit too much, but she's got it sweet. They've got 4 kids together. She's probably going to get him to marry her at some point. And she's set for life, and she's been there since the beginning. So whatever. She probably has the realistic thing of men gonna do what men do. Why cry about it? I don't like Dustin whatsoever. Loved him getting KO'd by Justin. I did very much enjoy that. I've got to say. Chris Gray, you're my enemy now. Weston's not fucking about as well. He means that shit. He genuinely means that shit. D. Devlin is a baby-making machine. Yeah, man. It seems to me like they those two can't miss. It's like literally as soon as that nut goes off, it hits the target every time. So he's not just accurate in the octagon. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got those super sperm. I'm very grateful that I don't. Or I could have had a completely different life. I'm glad that most of my sperms are kind of swimming and banging into each other or swimming backwards, like just sick, going like trying to climb to the target. Couldn't be more grateful for that. The legacy provider. D. Devlin is a goat, but I don't know if my bitch just let me cheat and do coke. I don't know if that's an S tier hoe. Not much self-respect. At least she balling. She's basically been with him from the beginning. It's very similar to like Tyson Fury's wife as well. Very similar. He embarrasses himself on like a daily basis. And whenever you see interviews of her, she always comes across with a lot of dignity and common sense. Like you wonder where people like Conor McGregor and Tyson Fury would be without good women in their side or by their side. Because I do reckon she stops him from completely going off the rails. Because like as much as people know, like Conor McGregor is a genius in many aspects, but he's also a fuck nugget as well. Like if he was left to his own devices to do whatever he wanted, he would literally be completely off the rails. Because he's a dumb cunt. And that's just how I feel. Dustin Poirier is the dude. Anyone is welcome to disagree, but I don't like you if that's your take. Sorry, man. I've hated Dustin Poirier from day one. And again, I'll say not as a fighter, purely for his soy, simpy personality. And you can stick it up your fucking ass if you don't like it, mate. I'm going to regret that, aren't I? Sorry? Is it too late? At Western Mac Climber, it was good while it lasted. Yeah, it's very hard to stay on Weston's good books. I've found it's a difficult task. But then, to be fair, he does Weston's quite forgiving. Like he'll cook you 1 minute and you'll think shit, man, and then the next minute he's like back being cool again. Which I personally love the unpredictability of that. It's great. But no, I hate Dustin Poirier. By the way, Weston, do you think he fights again? Because him being on the analyst booth yesterday would suggest maybe not. But he has said a couple of things saying, look, I'm not retired and I'm still thinking it through. I reckon we'll get one more. Possibly a welterweight fight against Colby. I'd love that. And I would root for him against Colby. Perhaps. Well, Frankie, we're in a weird spot now, eh? I'm just joshing ya. Truthfully, I've Poirier has kind of grown on me a little bit more over the years. He has. And again, he's a legend. He's a legend. He's got probably one of the best UFC careers of all time. And I give him a lot of credit for that. And he's game as fuck. So I'll always give him credit for that. No, I think Poirier's done. If I was him, I probably would be. But I know what's going to happen. He'll take 6 months off. He'll be nice and healed. He'll be having his wife yapping in his ear. And he'll be thinking, right, I need to get back to fucking camp. Have an excuse to get out of the house. Poirier versus Perry, BKB. They would have, the thing is, I would love to, I wouldn't mind seeing, I wouldn't say I'd love, I wouldn't mind seeing Poirier do, I wouldn't mind seeing Poirier do bare knuckle, but they can't afford him. Poirier gets bank in the UFC. But what Paradox is saying about the working hip thing, maybe a boxing career of some description might. If I was him, I'd do boxing because his boxing's actually decent. He's got good fundamentals. Bare knuckle, I probably wouldn't do that. And again, they couldn't afford him, even with McGregor bankrolling the whole thing or bankrolling part of the thing. Poirier would probably demand something in the region of $2.5 to $3 million at least, I'd imagine. And BKFC aren't paying that to anyone, not right now. And by the time they get to that level, if they ever do, Poirier is going to be well past his best. He's already on his way to there now. Give it a year and he'll be broke. He seems like a relatively sensible person. And apparently his hot sauce is quite good. I mean, I've never tried it, but I can't give you that. I can't give you that as a certainty, but Poirier versus Jake Paul. Nah, I don't love it, man. I don't want to see Jake Paul against anyone respectable. The fact that he's fighting Mike Perry is already concerning me. When is that fight, by the way? Because I'm definitely going to bet on that. I'm going to put some decent money on Jake Paul. I think he's going to fuck Mike Perry up. I really do. I think he's going to flatline him in the first 3 rounds. And it does pain me to say that. It's just how I see it going. I actually think Jake Paul is quite good. Paradox, I'm going to time you out with that bullshit. His hot sauce is better than him as a fighter. See, now Chris Gray's just goading it. Now he's going for it. And I love it. Keep winding him up. No fucking way, man. What do you mean? No fucking way that Poirier fights Jake Paul or that Jake Paul flatlines Mike Perry? I think he's gonna break his face. Mike Perry. I'm gonna say it again. I said it a million times. Mike Perry is technically awful, and in a lot of those I'll take that bet. I'll take that 1K bet all day long. Perry, and the thing is that I know Perry's got a good record in BKFC, but he was losing or was about to lose a lot of those fights, and he just chatted his way through. In boxing, when you get in touch with those gloves, I know everyone hates Jake Paul, and so do I. I think he's a tosspot, but he's actually half decent, and he's got some. Out of all those influencer wankers that box, he's by far the best. And Mike Perry doesn't really, like I said, he's not technically that good. He's just a hard cunt. I want Perry to win. Nothing would please me more than watching Perry standing over his limp, lifeless body. Because the Pauls are again, I have them on that goat mountain of evil fuckers, especially his dim-witted snake of a brother. I hate Logan the most out of all of them. No, sorry, I lie. I hate KSI the most out of all of them. And KSI is fighting 2 people in one night, apparently, in a couple of weeks. And I'd love to see the first guy knock him out. Be hilarious. Dustin Poirier versus some crackhead. Book it. Now you're just going for it. I'm not going to say what I was going to say there. I love Perry, but he's a mid-fighter that's got toughness against old-ass MMA fighters in pure boxing. And that's the thing. He should. I get why he's taking the fight. He's probably going to bag millions of dollars. He's probably going to fight millions of dollars for fighting Jake Paul. The thing is, Jake Paul is a big cunt. He's massive, and he can actually pop. Perry's going to look tiny in there. And I think he's going to get chinned. Not a decision, chinned. Or I might go as far as to say ref stoppage, where he's wobbling around the place and gets stopped. That's what I think it could happen. Paradox, take 1 minute. Think about your thoughts. Yeah, you're really going for it. Has anyone checked on the old Platinum Princess yet? Perhaps she could be Paige Van Zant's next slap opponent. Who's the Platinum Princess? Oh, the Platinum Princess. Is that Mike Perry's bird? She seems like another diamond as well. You'd have to be to put up with Mike Perry. You'd have to be a grade A chick to put up with that guy. Because you can tell he's probably a handful in every sense of the word. She seems to have really calmed him down. Favorite way to eat eggs? Do you know what, Chris? I'm really sorry about this. I think you asked me this yesterday and I missed it. Because I was thinking about it when you said it, and then I think the chat moved on. Poached eggs. Which won't surprise you because I probably sound like a posh little twat. It's because I probably am. Poached, brother. Because I like the fact that you can burst the egg the right way. When you do it with fried eggs, you can get wrong so often, whereas with poached, you're always guaranteed to get that messy yolk. So poached. Weston, you batty man. You could have done 10 seconds. Did you kick him out for real? Bloody hell, man. That's fierce. He kicked you out, yeah, to let you think about your thoughts, yeah? I've learned my lesson, but I was spitting facts. Poached is posh as fuck. Bro, like I said, my tastes changed over the years. Like I'm not as I wouldn't go as far as to say as like I'm a brunch person now, but it's on the cards. Laugh more. Okay, you said it. Give kind confirmed. Ah. 1 minute isn't harsh. You feel better now, Paradox. Like I said, man, you got free reign to do what you wanted here. And we know Paradox is solid. Paradox is going to come back swinging. At Western Mass Climber, saw you made an appearance in EBT Juru's latest video via Lost Souls chat. I've heard of EBT Juru, and I heard of him as of yesterday. Who the fuck is that guy? Is it another clipping channel? It sounds like it. Or maybe I've got that completely wrong and I need to shut my pie hole. Hive mind, yeah. That's exactly what we've got, Glenn. Eggs Benny is unreal. Hang on a sec. I really like by the way, I do like you know that eggy in a basket? If you guys have ever had that, I'm really good at making that shit. I sounded like such a fruit cake there. Eggy in a basket. Eggs Benedict. Oh yeah, I do like Eggs Benedict. I'm not a massive fan of hollandaise sauce though, if I'm being honest. So it kind of ruins the whole thing. If you don't like hollandaise sauce, there's almost no point. Yeah, Weston, you're famous in the community, brother. It's an expose of MMA YouTube streamers. Oh, okay. Okay. Is he brutally? Is he worth checking out? Is he worth subscribing to? Yeah, I was pissed. I wanted that favorite egg answer. But hang on a second, bro. Sorry. Let me go back down. Hang on. Fuck me. Yeah, I wanted that, but the wait was worth it. Poached is a great choice. I'm glad you haven't called me a fag for that because I probably deserve it. I was expecting to get moved to. I don't like Eagle MMA at all. I don't like Eagle MMA at all. That's another guy I think is a jarring twat as well. And if you ever see him, you can tell him I said that. I find his content really annoying. Which again, I shouldn't really be spitting that considering I'm, practice what you preach and all that shit. But there's something about that guy that rubs me up the wrong way. I've seen a few like shorts of his and it's very like something about the guy I don't like. I imagine his channel's doing quite well though. Not that I've checked. I wouldn't have any clue. The whole Regal Eagle MMA and weird shit they do, low IQ kids, teens is fucked up. Yeah, what's that all about? I mean, I'm pretty childish, but like, I don't know if I'm willing to get into that. I've been to some of the poshest hotels in the world, and I will never order some posh shit like eggs Benedict. Lol, what the fuck is that even? So eggs Benedict is basically like a muffin, and then you usually get like a poached egg, and then like salmon and hollandaise sauce on top. It's actually really good. Sometimes I prefer it with avocado, crushed. Wow, I really am a posh twat. What happened to me? If my mates could hear me now, Jesus Christ, I'm almost fucking embarrassed. You really got me with that one. I just went into an unnecessary ramble there. Yeah, if I'm not having eggs Benedict, no, sorry, not eggs Benedict. Poached eggs, sunny side up all the way. Just very hard for people to get it right because, like I said, if the yolk is not runny, I'm very upset. But I'm not the kind of person who badmouths people who make my food. You know, I don't want them sticking my egg down their fucking trousers or wiping it between their cheeks. Like, I'm just not that dumb. I'm always overly polite to people who serve me food. Oh yeah, mate. I left that Lost Soul chat right before Rigo told him to shake his stummy. I saw that. Yeah. It was Musical MMA put something up about that. What the fuck was that about? The shake your stummy thing. What the hell is that? That's really bizarre. Now that you mention it, I did see that. Very bizarre. No, but shout out Noah for real. It's interesting. Yeah, I might give it a try. I've got nothing but time on my hands. Scrambled eggs on toast, or you're just celebrating Pride Month for breakfast. uh, I've got no comeback for that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I've got no rebuttal for that. Oh, Chris Paul's just gone to the Spurs for 11 million. It's pretty good for him. That's a pretty good deal for him. So I know nobody gives a fuck. Right, I'm retarded. 120,000 hour timeout. Chav. Bruh, how did Chasson get a performance bonus? What the fuck? Not only are the UFC giving a main card spot to the two lesbians on Pride Month, but now also a bonus for Macy. Bruh, talk about LGBTQT privilege. The card was shit. And she did wipe her face, off her skull. But was it a fight of the night worthy performance? No. Because she was she was winning the fight, but having it stopped for that elbow to the schnoz definitely helped her get out of there quicker. Because it still could have probably gone either way. The only thing I would say is, like, if they're gonna give her one, like, who got the fight bonuses last night? Because until I know that information, I can't say whether or not it's fucking stupid or not. Let's have a look. Hang on. UFC 303 fight bonuses. All right, let's have a skosh. I just said skosh. I'm getting more and more faggy by the second. Jesus Christ. All right, so we've got. Why can't it just blatantly tell you who got it or not? Why do I have to read an entire essay to get to the answer? Fight of the night went to featherweight veterans Andre Feely and Cub Swanson. I don't really remember that fight, I'll be honest. Alex obviously got a performance bonus because, let's face it, he needs it. Macy and Peyton Talbot and Joe Pyfer. Yeah, I kind of get it. I mean, who else was worthy of one? I mean, unless there's somebody who missed, maybe Lopez deserved one more than. I don't know. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, you can't give it to Gillian Robertson, even though she beat the fuck out of Michelle Watson. What about Jean Silva? He didn't get a bonus? Seems harsh. If he didn't get a bonus and Thingy did, Chasson did, then that's well fucked, to be honest. Hang on a sec. Sorry, guys, I'm going to catch up. Yeah, the EBT video, just watched it. So is that the one where he lifts his shirt up and starts wiggling around? Didn't really do it for me, I'll be honest. Giving a chick a bonus is crazy. I don't know what email did. I asked him and he said nothing mad fool of a thing. I hate shit like that, man. It's one thing calling someone a twat, but taking advantage of someone with low IQ and humiliating them on stream is gross shit. Oh, so that's what it was, yeah. So does this whatever his name is, does he have like learning difficulties or something? Because if that Rigo's reputation is going further and further into the gutter. Not that it ever was a great reputation anyway. It's stummy time. It's creepy thing to say. He might end up getting famous in the community from the back of this. He's gonna be getting it's stummy time comments for the rest of his fucking life on YouTube. Which I'm sure and the thing is, yeah, if it was somebody like me that made a mistake like that, I could have people shouting it's stummy time. But he seems, from what I've seen of him, to be very insecure and sort of like very easily pissed off. So he's probably gonna have a meltdown. Lopez definitely. They should have given Lopez one. But the thing is, I'm sure they sorted Lopez out with a nice little paycheck. Because I mean, having to fight in 3 different weight classes in literal 48 hours, or to prepare for 3 different weight classes, you deserve something. And it's why I don't mind the fact that the performance wasn't entirely convincing. Yeah, Jean Silva should have got it instead of Macy, 100%. That's really stupid. Or why not just give it to both of them? I'm not even saying that Macy Chasson didn't deserve it, but giving it to her over a man? Are you crazy? She's already on the main fucking card. She's been rewarded enough. Macy Chasson did look kind of fuckable though, I'm not gonna lie. And I can't believe I feel that way, because she's not really. But when I saw her in that interview, like I said, like last week, I thought she looked alright. She's a solid 5. I thought she was like a 3 up until then, so it's stummy time. ITP is among though. He uses the UFC fight clock during fight companions and got a copyright strike. Does he? Oh man, that is a very mongy way to get a strike. The thing is, I think he's kind of been like I've got a lot of time for ITP. I think he's such a solid bloke. And he's obviously been really good at helping me out, and I do enjoy watching his streams. I'm just like, mine isn't for everyone, the same thing. But he's a genuinely nice person. But to get struck over that is unfortunate. Because I think what it is, yeah, I think on YouTube, if you get 2, you're fucked. They kick you off, and then you can't come back in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully that'll be the last time something like that happens. To be fair though, so did he just zoom in and have just the clock in the corner? That's harsh to get a copyright strike for that though. I don't think it's that much of a mongoloided thing to do to make a mistake like that. Because surely you'd think, but I guess YouTube is going to pick up on any pixel you have from. Do you know what I mean? Lopez and Ige should have been fighted tonight, and Jen Silva deserved a performance bonus more than Macy. I don't even remember the Philly and Swanson fight, but mind you, like I said, I was lit off my tits at that point, so it's hardly surprising that I don't remember it. I'm not saying it was a bad fight. I was fully glazed over at that point. It's amazing that I remember the main event. I think I perked up a little bit at that point, like I got a second wind. Fuck the weight miss performance bonus goes for an entertaining fight for a good bonus. Yeah, you've got to. But like I said, I'm sure they gave him. I'm sure that Lopez got paid well. I'm sure he got. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, I'm not that sure. The UFC does ride really dirty, don't they? So I wouldn't be surprised if they paid him nothing. Melson, let me know if you comment. I'll mod you. Yeah, Weston is the guy. Western makes the decisions around here with what goes on with the modding and at the pace that chat goes. So try not to piss him off. I think if he could kick me out of my own chat, he would have done it already. Yes, it's there, Western. Yeah, I was talking to him about that before. The UFC probably live streams the events privately on YouTube and has the stream content ID match any nerds like ITP. Probably that is what they do. That would be the easiest way to go about it for sure. But it's just, again, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think that's the way I'd go about it as well, to be fair. But yeah, he said it was a strike from the UFC directly. Doesn't surprise me. They're very, very. The thing about UFC, yeah, it's I haven't had a video struck but I haven't had like a strike in the sense of it's gone across, but I have had videos flagged where they can't be shown in certain regions, which really pisses me off because it was especially during the time when for one example when they post a fight on YouTube, you should be able to clip that as much as you want, especially if you're a small channel. Like fuck off, you've put it on YouTube anyway. You're only going to help it get around. And you're such a big. How much money does the UFC get from posting YouTube videos? Nothing that registers for them whatsoever. Why not just let people use your stuff if you're already putting it up? It's so weaselly. And it's obviously really nice when you're. I would like to be able to do a situation where I could do a card breakdown and just easily download clips of the UFC and have like clips. And this is partly why I stopped doing it as well. It would be nice to have clips of the fighters as I'm talking about them to explain why I favor them in a certain fight. It would just add to it. And if it's on YouTube already, just let us use it. Absolute fucks. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna leave the modding conversation alone. So obviously, I don't want loads and loads of people being modded in here. Just not because I want to be a cunt about it, but first of all, it takes away the shine from being a mod if everyone's a mod, and secondly, obviously, I don't want to put anybody in a situation where they can just start kicking people out and banning people. Because let's face it, people on the internet can be very cunty. I saw it happen in an ITP stream last week where a guy had been modded and he just started booting everyone out and blocking people. Some people get off on that stuff, and when you've got a channel the size of ours, like they're not big, having 10 people booted out of your stream or 15 people booted out of your stream in one swoop is devastating to a channel of this size. So, yeah. He's pretending to be me, man. Oh, Chris, fake email Melson. I find Chris very entertaining. I swear I've seen Urseg and Kai was in the works. Have they said anything? Yeah, they've announced it for Perth. I think it's happening on the main card of the Adesanya Drickus card. I'm pretty sure that's been signed unless I'm mistaken. That's a great fight as well. That's a great fight. I trust you as well, Weston, to make the right decision on that. You know people around here better than I do, so I'll leave it down to your discretion. I'm not going to get involved whatsoever. We haven't had any such issue yet, which is great. Because like I said, people can be dicks. It's especially hard as well when you spend so much time building up a channel to be any kind of size, and someone just comes along and just fucks with you for no reason. It ain't fun. And I've had it happen to me back in the day with other things. Just being too trusting, just is what it is. That rogue mod said he started banning everyone in ITP's chat because ITP wouldn't stop talking about porn and cooming, so that's on ITP. Actually, I don't know because I wasn't. I turned up just after everyone had started getting booted, so I don't know what he was talking about beforehand. Porn's the one thing that I wouldn't talk about on here because I don't know anything about it. It's just not for me. I prefer real vaginas. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, some people don't like talking about that kind of stuff. And fair enough. I get it. I think we've only blocked one person. And I'm sure whoever it was deserved it. Like, I probably wouldn't even know. Like I said, this channel wouldn't be anything without you guys. And I recognize that. So credit where credit's due. And I've kind of been speaking to you long enough to know what the deal is. Like, I know that you have the best interests of the channel at heart. So who am I to take away your you know, your ability to help keep this place flourishing? I appreciate it. Back to Chad. Yeah, Urseg versus Kai is great. Who do you reckon wins it? I assume most people would be picking Urseg. Kai Kara France is tough as fuck though. And that's gonna be a barn burner. Like when you get like high level flyweights going at it, there's nothing better. It's just a shame that they're all personality vacuums. What should I do for 100 subs? £1 giveaway. What I tell you what, yeah, 100 is a nice number to hit. 100 is a really nice number to hit. I remember when I hit that the first time, I still like I was buzzing about that for like a month. I told you guys, man. Even now, if I get one more, I'm like, nah, man, that's sweet. It's a nice feeling, and I'm hoping that sooner or later I'll get to 1,000. But because, like I said, you guys are in here now, I'm not that bothered about it anymore. I'm just like I enjoy just. I don't just come. I come in here to actually because I enjoy like going back and forth with you lot, which is why I pretty much do it every day now. It's sweet. Oh, the only person I blocked was the guy that tried dropping your address. Yeah, that was funny. Luckily, yeah, I use a VPN. So, but that was, again, cunty thing to do. Cunty thing to do. Thoughts on me installing Rising Storm Vietnam just so I can pretend I'm killing ITP? Whatever works for you, man. I've got nothing against it. I mean, it's not really racist, is it? Is it? Is it? It's not racist. It's perfectly fine. And even if it is racist, you do what you want, bro. It's your life. If it makes you feel good, doesn't sound like you're hurting anyone to me. As long as you're not practicing, that'd be a different thing. So when do you think Pantoja versus Asakura is happening since it got declined for 305? I reckon they do it at the... Where is the Sphere happening? Is the Sphere going to be 305? The Sphere would have been a really great one to do that for. I don't know what card the Sphere is. If it's 305, I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Then, or it's 305 Perth. I said if it's not Perth, no, 305 is Perth. What am I talking about? So the Sphere. I reckon they could do it in the Sphere. Especially with Kai Asakura's following. Imagine if he comes in and wins a belt in his first fight. And it could happen. It really could happen. 306. 306. What do you think about him? I think it. Do you know what? Yeah, it just is. It's just the situation that flyweight's in now. It's just the situation. There's nobody for him to fight. There's no, like literally. I mean, if you made a case that if Manel Cap had been given a title fight tomorrow, nobody would have batted an eyelid because there's nobody else. He's beat Royval twice. He's beaten Moreno 3 times, I think. He's Kai Kara France doesn't deserve a shot. Neither does Amir Albazi. Who else is there? Steve Ursig is obviously just beat. Who else is there at flyweight? You can't give it to Manel Cap because he's literally missed weight a bunch of times and hasn't fought in ages and been injured and stuff. So you can't give it to him. Kaya Sakura's got a big following. And the thing is, he was a champion at Ryzen. So you can justify that. You can actually bring him in. And the UFC could even mention Ryzen because they don't really see Ryzen as competition. And they could say, right, Ryzen champion coming over. Bring his big following with him. I'm perfectly fine with it. And I'm glad because I made a video about it a couple of days before the news dropped. and I said they were going to do. I said that he should go to flyweight, and he's clearly thought about it and made the right decision. 306 is McGregor allegedly. McGregor ain't coming back. McGregor, and he's definitely not coming back this year. He's clearly taken the piss now. Like there's videos of him all over the internet, like fucking around on a yacht, and I reckon something went down with that 303 card where he basically told the UFC to go fuck themselves. Because there's no way the McGregor of old would have had a little bruised toe and not jumped in there. Like, I think something went down. I think they had some kind of argument over money or points or something, and he basically said, either he said, pay me this or go fuck yourself. We are really good. This channel's been amazing this year for predicting. Like last year, I had a 70% prediction rate on my picks, which went really under the radar. But this year, in terms of predicting what's going to happen with fights that are going to happen, who's going to be champion, we've done really well here as a community for picking stuff out. And Aaron, you're always the guy who's great for getting the news in. Usually, when you say something's going down, it usually is, and you've got a pretty much flawless record in that regard. The baguettes would be pissed, though. That is true. Japanese reports say that Pantoja declined him versus Asakura for 305. Yeah, I mean, Pantoja has been in a couple of wars, and he didn't fight that long ago. And I know he won against Steve Ursig, but he got pieced up quite a bit. So I'd imagine he's probably going to need some time to recover. I don't blame him for not taking that fight. I could see them doing... I think the Sphere would be a smart choice, for sure. I meant as in Holland potentially getting a crazy fight at middleweight and calling Asakura being a flyweight. I think Holland, if Holland got a top fight... Well, there's talk of him doing him and Cannonier, right? I don't hate it. I know Holland's only lost one fight at middleweight, right? And also, he's the guy who always steps up. Doesn't he have the record for the most fights in a calendar year or something? I think it was in 2020 that he fought 5 times in 1 year or something. You've got to reward guys like that. He stepped up again. You know, did you see Dana go geek mode when defending John Jones once in it? Yeah, Connors, I heard about it. What prompted it? Was it that somebody said Alex Pereira should be pound for pound number 1 and then he just went off on a ramble again? Or did he just bring it up out of nowhere like he did last time? I'm gonna go back and watch it at some point because I usually do watch the post-fight presses just to see if there's anything interesting come out. But I haven't had time today. So maybe somebody could confirm that for me. If we ever make a Discord or something, I'll drop all of the insiders I know that get that shit before Ariel. But I think a Discord's got to be on the cards for the community. Because the thing is, yeah, we've got a lot of people here who are regulars now. And I think it would just be a sweet thing to have to keep a record of stuff. Because obviously as well, when I'm doing live streams, they're bloody long. Like some of them are like, I'm averaging like 3-4 hour live streams now. So it's like, it's very hard to keep track of what we talk about. Especially seeing as most of it is like therapy related stuff. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I do like the Discord idea. It might be something we could definitely do. Because I've never used Discord. I don't even know that. I'm a dinosaur. I don't know anything about Discord. So it's definitely something I'd be down. I became a regular after you did the stummy shuffle. The thing is, mate, it's highly possible that happened. It could have happened last night. Hearing the word stummy just makes me really... So just to clarify, that's what Rigo did. He basically took advantage of somebody who's... I don't want to say mentally retarded because that's really rude and I don't know what this guy is. But if he's done that, if he's taken advantage of somebody in that way, he's an even bigger cunt than I've heard he is. And you can get fucked. Yeah, midge or not a midge. That was a highlight of this. That was when I realized we were onto something special here, Chris, when you brought that up. And I'd like to thank you for being the one to bring that up. That was one of the funniest conversations we've had on here. I just hope to God, yeah, that one day my son doesn't go back and watch this crap and he's like, he hears us talking about banging or not banging midgets. Because I don't know how I'm going to explain my way out of that one. I'd still like to pretend I'm some kind of respectable parent. I'm still living on that illusion. But no, that was a good one. But yeah, the Discord could definitely be something we could do. I'll have a look into it. Because I am going to start having a little bit more time on my hands, and it's going to be cool because over the month of August, like I'm going to still be live streaming, but we'll be doing it from loads of different places. So maybe we can do something around that. I don't know. We'll try and figure something out. I need to get back to making more topic videos as well because since I've been going live, I've been getting really lazy with it. Like I haven't recorded any topics in a while, so I need to get on that because that is the bread and butter of my channel. And I do like having the opportunity to talk about serious things every once in a while. Also, per reports, Peyton Talbot was not the guy in the vape video. It was his roommate. Per Aaron Tats. Did you, I mean, to be honest, yeah, does it matter? It kind of does, doesn't it? It fucking matters. I actually feel a lot better now that I know that he didn't do that. Or that there's a high possibility that he didn't do that. And the guy in the video had a really, I noticed, again, this is going to sound fruity. The guy in that video had a really weird ass. That's the thing that stood out to me. It wasn't so much this, I mean, whoever sent me that video, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. Somebody sent me that. And I can't unburn it from my memory. It keeps me awake at night. Yeah, same. I hope my first crush doesn't see this one day. I want to see what she looks like now. Yeah. It's a great opportunity to just be weird fuckers in my chat. It's just let the weirdness out. It's welcome here. Talbot said it wasn't him in a recent interview, but Peyton then tried it out and liked it. See, that's more that I see how that went. Yeah, that is what happened. They promised Lost Soul they'd shout him out on live streams if he did that. You fucking kidding me? That is really foul. That is really, really foul. What's the guy's YouTube who they did it to? Can somebody post his YouTube into the chat? That's a really scummy thing to do. Yeah, Izzy just is a salty fuck, isn't he? He's picked against Alex Pereira 4 times in a row. He picked Jan Blachowicz, he picked Jamal Hill, and he picked Yuri twice to beat him. It might even be 5 times in a row. Because has Yuri beat somebody else in the meantime? Yuri's had 4 fights since he fought Izzy, right? Yeah, Yuri twice. Jan. Yeah, I think he's had 4. Lost Soul MMA. Let me type that in. I'm definitely going to throw up a sub to the guy, and everyone else should too if they haven't already. Because that is just disgusting. Let me have a look. 237. I'm definitely subscribing to this dude. 100%. That's really disgusting. And I hope that he gets like decent exposure from it. You know, that people actually jump in and support him and that he actually gets a boost from it. Even the channel name is childish. So Pib is a Rego mod. I've just subscribed to Lost Soul MMA. Chuffed it all night, love. I mean, maybe it gives a high that we can't, maybe we shouldn't judge. Maybe it gives you a buzz that we could have never thought possible. But it's the fact that you think of doing it that's more troubling. Like, who has the idea to stick a fucking vape in their ass and go for it? And how do you know you've got the suction? There's a lot of questions that needed answered in that situation. That's all I'll say. And it is just generally gross. Yeah, if that's what's well, obviously that is what's gone down. It's just a gross thing to do to another person. You shouldn't take advantage of people anyway, regardless of whether they have, you know, not mental handicaps, but you know what I mean, if they've got some issues or not. But Rigo's got that thing about him now, doesn't he? Where he's like, from what I understand, is he's become quite arrogant in the fact that his YouTube channel's done quite well, and he probably sees himself as like a YouTube celebrity at this point. So to think he can go around, you see true people's true colors when they do shit like that, and they think it's funny. You're just a cunt, mate. Absolute scumbag. But yeah, that's horrendous. Rico Weinstein, I love that. Thanks for posting that, Paradox. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've had a little chat about this one. We all know the truth. I hope that they make Alex Pereira pound for pound number 1 on Monday, and I think they might. He's definitely going to be above Leon Edwards. What I think will happen is, I mean, the pound for pound list doesn't mean shit to me, but it seems to mean something to the fighters. So I'd say potentially like Islam will be number 1 still, and then they'll have Alex Pereira at number 2. You kind of have to. He should be number 1 in my opinion, but that's a debate for another day. So is Pib a Rigo mod? Who the fuck is Pib? That guy keeps posting weird fake shit about me in ITPs and Ronin streams. See, Aaron, this is how you know you're making an impact though. When you got there's nothing more awesome than having a hater. It's very satisfying to me. Like I get sent a lot of nasty shit on Twitter saying stuff about me, and I love it. I love every second of it. The fact that somebody goes out of their day to try and upset me is very, very satisfying. I just realized my brother's in the chat. If my Aiden, if you can hear me, shout out, bro. It's my brother. Hope you're doing well and the family's well. I'm definitely gonna have to pop round to you at some point, maybe tomorrow. Rigo banned Pib after Guru banned Pib because he had no excuse at that point to keep him around. One of those ones. This whole modding thing is bizarre to me. People get very, very upset about that stuff. Like, is that? I mean, I suppose being a mod in Guru's channel would be some form of status feeling, I guess. I hate you, Frankie. Oh, I needed a boost today. I'm still semi hungover. His channel wasn't even doing well. He makes like $500 a month off ad revenue. It's not terrible. I mean, does he do YouTube full time? Because if he does, that's rough. But I'd assume he was doing something like that. And I imagine people pay a lot of money for like chat comments in Rigo's chats? Pib was Rigo's internet friend. Pib asked Musical's 6-year-old son about masturbation, would post pictures of people's kids and laugh at them in chat, etc. Whoa. That's as bad as it gets, isn't it, really? How did he manage to get... No, you must be joking, right? Surely that wasn't allowed to happen. There's something I can be quite gullible when it comes to speaking to people on the internet. I just go, really? That happened? Pib keeps on making alts, but it's easy to find out it's him because he types like a schizo. Yeah, you can usually sense the tism, can't you? When it's strong. There's a lot of weirdos. If I was a modding guru chat, I'd just post my link all the time. Yeah, you could probably blow up overnight. I will ask Musical about it. Like I do DM him quite a lot in Twitter these days. I'm not saying I don't believe you, email. It would be, it would be a weird thing to bring up. I wouldn't want to say to Musical like, did some dude talk to your son about masturbation? That would be awkward. Part of me kind of doesn't want. I don't know. It feels scummy to me. I believe you. I've seen you around in streams. You seem like a really stand-up dude as well. Rigo claims it's a job, but I don't believe it. Rigo lives in Toronto. His broke ass better be making like 3K a month. Toronto's expensive, yeah? Oh, eh? Toronto's expensive, is it? Still though, $500 from YouTube ain't bad. I make nothing from YouTube, but I'm not monetized. So this is all just fun for me. I mean, $500 isn't great. If it's your main job, it's awful. But it must be nice to just sit here all day talking about something that you love and getting some form of money for it. Like it must be cool, you know. So good for him, I guess. I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't really know anything about Rigo, but it's just from what people say, he's just a dick, and he's got a way too big of an ego for somebody who's just a fucking MMA YouTuber. It ain't nothing to get big headed about. Any cunt with a camera can do it. It's not hard. Yeah, that's bizarre. Ooh, drama. Ooh, gay. Why did I not just assume he was Canadian? I should have known that. I don't know why. But I've only seen Rigo actually speak once. I think I've clicked on one of his videos and I just instantly decided. And again, I'm not hating on the dude. It's just I instantly decided, nah, this guy isn't for me. And that was it. You know how YouTube is. I've experienced it a lot myself where I've had people come in and go, who's this fucking Steve Buscemi looking crackhead? And just disliking, don't recommend. And I can't blame you for having that reaction. Yeah, it's best to ignore him. But the thing is, yeah, it's one of those things in the MMA community, certainly amongst like there are certain people who just inexplicably get chained together. So it's like if you're like I know that brutally honest is really big in the game. A lot of people know about his content and rightfully so. Because the videos you make are amazing. And like musical MMA, same thing, ITP. There's certain people that just have links to everyone, which is really cool. So naturally, you're going to end up talking about this kind of stupid drama, even when it is what it is, stupid. But yeah, from what I'm hearing, sounds like a horrible human being. I mean, that's kind of like that's almost strike worthy level shit. See, I'm not somebody who's like a prude or like a. I'm not really a prankster anyway. I think that's the lowest form of humor, pranking people. But certainly doing it to somebody who has issues is horrible, vile, and that's all I'm going to say on it. Um, Rigo used to make a lot more money than Guru, paid all his bills. Then Guru found out Rigo was into teenage boys, cut the alimony payments, and Rigo started doxing. So Guru was paying all of his bills. What the fuck? Guru doesn't come across as that kind of dude. Sorry, I went on a side quest monging at random YouTube videos. Perfect, bro. I'm gonna be getting that to myself at some point. I'm not gonna be able to stay on too late tonight. I'm probably gonna do like a solid 2 hours, sorry, 2.5 hours, and then bounce because again, my son's got school in the morning and I haven't slept in a day and a half, so I do need to But like I said, I just kind of at this point, I just like coming in and hanging out with you dudes. It still blows me away that I've got people who are willing to turn up and just shoot the shit. And I don't usually do Sundays, but I felt bad because I didn't get the opportunity to answer some of you guys' chats yesterday. So definitely felt like I owed some of you guys one, especially Chris Gray. I mean, that eggs question. I imagine he must have been up all night going, but he didn't tell me what fucking eggs he likes. And the last thing I want to do is upset you, Chris. Ever since Rigo went at musical and we turned MMA YouTube into a game of civilization. uh, yeah, I don't think musical's a very stupid person to go at because he doesn't give a fuck and he'll cook you out. Like those are the kind of people you shouldn't fuck with on MMA YouTube, especially somebody like Rigo who's like he's sensitive. Would that be a fair thing to say? Wow. Guru used to give Rigo like $1,000 a month, free promo and stream, and raids every other day. What? Man, he must have been so. If that's true, yeah, which I'm assuming it is because you're saying it, he must have been. How do you? Wow, he must have been upset to fuck that up. If you've got like nonstop, um, I mean, just even having raids from Guru Stream must be crazy. One raid could change your entire channel, let alone being able to do it on a regular basis. How many followers does Rigo have now, or how many subscribers does he have? I'd be interested. Yeah, I was tossing and turning all night. How dare you? Mostly tossing, I imagine. I'm not imagining it. Just you know what I'm saying. Brutally honest MMA. I used to jokingly call them the boy lover mafia, and it turned into that. Is Rigo actually gay? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if it's young boys, then there's a lot wrong with that. Check Rigo's analytics. You see the huge hit he took in August last year. That was me. Like, bro. So you sound like somebody I shouldn't piss off as well. Thank you for very subtly making that clear to me. I will try to my best to remain on your good side. Just send me a list of your favorite fighters and stuff, and I'll make sure that I don't mog them too much. I'll do my best. But no, I'm not even subscribed to Rigo. Like I said, he's just not for me. Rigo's at 15k subs. Oh, that's not as much as I was expecting. I thought it would have been way more. I mean, that's still an amazing number, but I thought it would have been higher than that. I don't know why. Because I've heard of him, like I said, and I don't know. Rigo's not gay. He just gets drunk, tells young-looking boys to take their clothes and dance around for his entertainment. Yeah, I can see why that's I can see why that would be entertaining and fun. Is this like a regular thing where like he is that not the first person he's done it to? He'll only go after you if your name is Shannon. Then all he sees is red. Rigo would be higher than he came at the king. Boy, sounds like he fucked up royally there. Because I mean, if you're in with the guru, and I mean, if you're getting paid by him, and then you're like I said, you're getting advertising. Jesus Christ, man! I think it's more of a. That's what I'm saying. You learn about people when they get into a position like that. Just even in any way, I don't know. You see how people really are when they're in that kind of position and how they use it. Rigo Weinstein. Rigo Weinstein. That's hilarious. I feel like sooner or later I'm going to get drawn into this just because I can't help myself, and I'm quite an immature person anyway. But yeah, I figured he'd be at what, like, if I had to guess, I would have probably said double that. But again, I have nothing to base that on just because I don't know what kind of content he makes. But that's wild. So that explains why he was able to dox Guru, because he obviously had a personal relationship with him. If the guy's sending him $1,000 a month, fucking hell, that's crazy. But I'd say the free advertising would probably be worth even more than that, because I mean, Guru streams. I don't really watch them anymore, but like I imagine he pulls in thousands of people on live streams these days, and fair play to him. Fair play to him for it. But yeah, it does sound like a power thing, and it's troubling. It genuinely is. I feel like at some point I'm gonna have to just jump into a stream of his and just call him a cunt and get banned. I don't like bullies, especially dweeby little nerdy bullies who in person would get their asses whooped. It is what it is. I'm kind of, like I said though, I'm kind of glad that we've got a week off MMA. I could do with a little bit of a, like, the cards have been a bit too for me. Brutally, when are you going? Have you figured out when the press conference is for 304 yet? because I'm trying to work out if I might come down to Manchester as well. Maybe we could get a few pints in. I'd love to do that. So I think if it's on a reasonable day, I'll definitely pop down to Manchester. It's not too far from me. It's like a 2-hour train journey, so it's very doable. Sorry if this one's a little bit casual tonight. I kind of set it up that way. I mean, most of them are casual anyway, but you know what I mean. I didn't really plan anything. This is just a definition of a catch up. Would you recommend to start betting on fights? The thing is, it depends on your situation. Like, you have to have the kind of personality, yeah, where you don't chase bets if you lose, because MMA is so unpredictable. Like, I basically only broke even again at the start of this year. Like, in my entire betting career, and I like to consider myself fairly decent at it. I'm like $900 up in my entire life, which is which is crazy considering I've been gambling for like 10 years. I'm going to 304. Yeah, I'm going to 304. I understand the rambling dad is, and I might want to talk to you about this brutally, actually. I might want to talk to you about the actual 304 card itself as well, because I've got somebody who's coming with me, but I'm not sure what the situation is with it. So I might give you a shout about that. I'm going to find out in the next week or so if the person who's supposed to be coming with me is coming, because I've obviously already got 2 tickets. So I'll let you know how that pans out. I'm not sure if you're going to be available on that day or not anyway, but I figure I'll find out in the next week or so. But if it's on the Thursday, I could probably do that. I could probably run down for the day. Um, help you hide the contraband. Like, would you switch it up and throw something else at somebody? I wonder. Are you going to wait for the red panty situation and go where it needs to be done? Rigo was resorted to completely disengaging because he knows he's lost. He won't acknowledge me. What can he say? He's not a gay weirdo that asks teens to take their clothes off for shout-outs. I mean, there's no defense to that, really, isn't there? There's no defense to that. There just isn't. But yeah, brutally, hit me up on Twitter. We'll definitely sort something out. I'm finna be at home crying about the ticket prices. I didn't do that badly. Like I think I paid like $1,000 for like 2 tickets, something like that, which I thought I kind of got off lightly for. But the thing is, yeah, when I went to the Bellator event and it was on the ground, I kind of understand what Rambling Dad was saying. Like, because I haven't been to a lot of live events in my life. It's just something I felt like doing this year. And like, it is better if you're a little bit higher so you can kind of see over the cage. Because I literally had a fucking cameraman in front of me when I was at Bellator and I had to kind of move. And then there was this woman steward who was literally walking around the front and blocking the fighters off at certain points as well. And I just wanted to go and nut her, but I refrained from doing so. I didn't even go and tell her to move because obviously it's someone doing their job. I don't want to take the piss, but like, you know. I won't be doing anything for 304. Might do some content. Depends on if I'm drinking, which is highly likely. Yeah. I definitely won't be doing a watch along because obviously I'll be there. But what I might do, if you're doing a watch along, I might jump in at certain points if that's cool. That's what I might do. I just might ask 1 or 2 people if they're doing watch alongs on that day. Yeah, we'll definitely grab a beer. It will be on the Thursday or if it's on the Thursday that you're going, I'll definitely come up early. Yeah, fuck being on the thing is, yeah, I just assume, like, it's like I said, it was a rookie mistake to make buying tickets to get it on the ground. I mean, it was still amazing. Like, I still loved the experience, and you can obviously, because you're on the front row, you pretty much. And what's great about being at a live event if you've never done it, obviously when the fighters are finished, they kind of walk around and sit in different places and they interact with the fans. So that was really cool. And obviously being on the front row, you kind of see people. You're the first to see people come by. So there's plenty of opportunities to reach out and talk to people or whatever. But no, we'll definitely do that. We'll sort something out on the Thursday. That would be sick. And like I said, if you do decide to do a watch along, maybe I could do it live from the or do little parts of it. Maybe jump in for 10 minutes or so to just give you an inside thing into what's what the atmosphere is like and whatnot, which I imagine will be amazing. Or you'll have people with their fucking pillows out, which is a high possibility as well. I'm gonna have to make sure I get a really good sleep um, during the day to get through it, I think. So yeah, I'm probably going to stick around for another 15 minutes or so. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up? Any news you've heard? Anything you want to talk about in general? Fights you might want to see after the card? Performances you were particularly happy about? Or even if it's something that's not MMA related, whatever you want. Cut to Frankie live in the arena. I'll get like one of those fucking ridiculous microphones as well if you want. I might even wear like a shirt and tie and put on like I don't know why I wear a fake mustache, but we'll work something out. I think it would be cool. Because I've already got vlogging material from like the Bellator cards where I did like a shot from the hotel, shot from outside the arena, what it was like, you know. So I might do a comparison video at some point when I could be fucked, but I'm definitely going to do something like that for 304 as well. But yeah, I think I'd like to have that press conference experience as well. I think that would be fun. Looking forward to Wimbledon or don't care. I used to watch Wimbledon every year. I'm not really a big tennis guy anymore. I'll probably watch it. Fake Tash sounds great. We're in then. We've got it sorted. Thoughts on me calling everyone I encounter in Halo 3 the N-word? Maybe they had it coming. I don't know. We've talked about the N-word situation before. It's actually something that's come up in here as well. No stone gets left unturned in this chat. I'm gonna assume email that they fucking deserved it, the cunts. That's what I'm gonna lay on that. I'm probably gonna do hella content for 304 due to British privilege. Who wants to watch an American talk about a British MMA? Not me. It just sucks that it's gonna have to be overnight. Do you know what I mean? We're not gonna get that UK privilege of actually watching the card at a reasonable hour. I'm still fuming about that. Alex versus Tom. How long you see it lasting before Aspinall double legs him and arm triangles him? I give it 2 minutes. I love Alex Pereira, and I keep picking against him because I'm retarded, and then regretting it. And the thing is, I pick against Alex Pereira all the time, and then I bet on him. So I tell the viewing public like, oh yeah, I think Alex might lose this one, and then I go and do the complete opposite. But I think Tom Aspinall is a wham 260, 265. Like he is not fat, and he cuts to heavyweight. So he'd be way too big and way too strong. And I think he could take an Alex Pereira shot as well. I think the chin would be an issue. So yeah, I'd give it 2 minutes max. Melson, you a cant, but it's hard not to like you. I'm starting to feel that way as well. I'm definitely starting to feel that way. We've got some great people up in here. I could not be more blessed, really. Well, that's over. This is why I wouldn't have made a great actor. Yeah, Aspinall is the only fight you should ever bet against. But like I'm saying, man, apparently Alex is is a sizable underdog if he fights Ankalaev, which is bonkers to me. I'm assuming somebody's made that up where they've like, there's no way that he should be that far of an underdog. Makes no sense. And I'm definitely going to be betting big on him if that's the case. Yeah, at Chris, definitely within 2-3 minutes. It would be a first round dismantling for certain. But again, it might sound a weird thing to say. I'm actually slightly worried about Curtis Blades because that would be the ultimate. And the reason why I'm worried about it in particular is because it would be the perfect out for John Jones. Like if Curtis Blades loses to John Jones, he can just turn around and say, "See, he was never on my level," and just weasel his way out of it once again. So that's why I don't like it. It just adds to John Jones's excuse not to fight him, which is exactly what he'd do. So I don't love it. I don't love it in the slightest. And I am worried about Curtis Blades. I do think he's pretty good. Like there's a very strong potential that at UFC 304 I have a meltdown. I have the meltdown of meltdowns. Wankalaev says he will stand and trade with Alex, but he's pulling the Sean Strickland war psychology card. There's no fucking way on this planet he does this. I know he's mentally retarded, but there's no way after only. But the thing is, would it surprise you if he tried to do that? I don't think he will. I think he's lying, and it's a smart lie. But it's not like Jiri's going to say. It's not like sorry, Jiri. It's not that Alex is going to say to himself, "Oh, well, he said he's going to strike with me, so I guess he's going to do that." It's not going to affect the game plan whatsoever. He has to grapple with him. His striking's horrendous. Oh, horrendous is a bit strong. He's a decent striker, but he's nowhere near on the level of Alex. I'd love to see Alex just take the fight and get it over with, just so we can say it's done and move on. Because once he beats Ankalaev, there's literally nobody left in light heavyweight for Alex Pereira to slaughter. Certainly in the short term. Like you could probably give him like I mean, I imagine that Rakic might get his name back into the picture at some point. Allberg's probably going to climb a little bit, but those guys are a long way off getting anywhere near title contention. I mean, what's his name? Khalil might end up getting a shot just by default. It's looking like that in the division now. I think Alex beats Ank, but Ank is very more responsible defensively than Yuri and Hill. He does use a high guard much better. But he's also susceptible to getting worked to the body as well. And his leg kick defense is shit. Like I think Alex Pereira would rip his legs apart, and then when he drops his hands, he just chin him out. I'd love Alex to take that would be the ideal situation to me. If he like double legged his ass or like hip tossed him, like judo hip tossed him with his yellow belt, and then just broke his arm off. Light heavyweight is dog shit. But this is what I'm saying. It's one of the worst divisions in the sport. But like Alex basically just needs to say, like, if I was Alex, I would tell Wankalaev to do one, go up to heavyweight. You're 37 years old. If Alex Pereira somehow goes to heavyweight, we've talked about this before, but I'll repeat it. If he goes up to heavyweight and somehow wins, he's in the GOAT conversation instantly. Alex subbing Amp would make it. Alex subbing Ank would be making one of the GOAT of all GOATs. He'd be undeniable at that point. He'd definitely be pound for pound number one. And then you've got a conversation that he's on the mountain. I think he's approaching that conversation already. For what he's done in a short amount of time. I mean, it's crazy. Thoughts on Joey saying that Izzy is the GOAT, but Yan and Alex aren't that good. I mean, you're talking about MMA Joey, yeah? Speaking of fat retards, this guy, the fat, oh man, he's what? I don't even want to get started. I don't even want to get started on that useless sack of shit. I tend to not be too harsh on MMA creators in general because I respect people doing their things. I hate that cunt. I genuinely do. I think he's such an arrogant fat piece of shit. Like he's one of those people who like generally somehow, I don't know how he does it. I disagree with pretty much everything he says. He's like the anti-bad MMA math channel. Like literally every take he has, I'm like, I can't remember ever agreeing with a tweet that he wrote or a comment that he posted. I just think he's a twat and I think he's arrogant. So fuck him. So sorry, to get back to the question, he's dumb. You're only as good as the opponents you've beaten, or that should be a major part of the conversation. Imagine Alex. Is Krylov fighting in the war? He could get a title fight if he were active. Krylov's very good as well. There was a rumor that he'd been killed in the war, but that's obviously not true. Krylov's very good as well, and he's on a decent streak. But he's another guy who he's got a few questionable losses on his record, but he is on a little bit of a run. And again, with the way that light heavyweight is, so yeah, he lost to Paul Craig in the first round, and he obviously lost to Magomed Ankalaev, which was a pretty close fight. He got a split decision with Glover. Yeah, that guy's just had losses at the wrong time. Losing to OSP is never a great look. I mean, I know it was in 2014, but that's not a great one. Shoots a double leg on Wank, picks him up and slams him on his dome and subs him. Then all JJ fans will be crying for his retirement before the Alex fight. That sounds beautiful to me. That sounds like a dream scenario. If I'm being honest, I would love that shit. That would be very satisfying. Allberg will save light heavyweight. Trust. Allberg is fine. I'm perfectly fine with Allberg as long as he just doesn't say words. Like, I'm happy to be like on the Allberg train as long as he doesn't talk. Because he does have like a very exciting cage style, which I appreciate. But just don't talk, buddy. You've got no personality and you're a bit of a creep, so be quiet. I don't worry. I don't worry about Joey anymore. His heart disease will get the better of him eventually. He has slimmed down a little bit. To fair play to the fucking fat waste of oxygen. I don't want him to die. Just gonna leave that on the table. Yeah, Jay-Z, a lot of people on the stream seem to think he died at war. Yeah, he's been lost for weeks. I fucking hope he's all right. He's been lost. Is that right? I mean, I hope that's not the case. That would be very, very... But I'm assuming... Yeah, because if he's lost and it hasn't been confirmed, maybe that's why the UFC hasn't said anything about it. I really think all the good prayers go out for the Ukrainian chat, 100%. I really think Alex is the only guy John would actually fight after Stipe. Too much money, they're the same age and lots of legacy on the line. And it's also a lot more winnable with Jones, because Jones has a very clear path to victory if he fights Alex Pereira. Very good path to victory. He would take him down instantly. It would be very similar to what he did to Gon. And Jones is a proper heavyweight now. I don't like that for Alex, as much as I hate to admit it. Allberg versus Roundtree would be interesting. Good to have you here, Yasuke. That's the fight that should be happening. They're both in and around the same ranking spot. I think both of them potentially getting top 3 fights was ridiculous. I get why they did it. The timing was all a bit, timing's everything in MMA, but I didn't like it. So them two fighting each other, I would definitely go for that. I think Carlos Ulberg would starch him as well. It's kind of well documented on here that I think Khalil Roundtree's a shitty fighter who only has one skill in his toolbox, which is, first of all, he fights on one side and he's got no gas tank. So I think the hype behind him, and if you look at the wins he's had, they're all against mid-level to low-level fighters. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get bonged out. I don't necessarily hate the dude or anything, but I think Carlos Ulberg would smack him out. Yeah, he's been lost for 3 or 4 weeks. That's very troubling. That's a very troubling thing to hear. I'm very much firmly in the camp of hoping the dude's all right. Completely. Alex versus Jones would upset me because Jones has a really good shot at winning, unlike against Aspinall. That's exactly what I just said. This is this hive mind thing we've got going on. Allberg murders Factory. Yeah, I can't get the images of Khalil Roundtree being looking like a completely different person, just a blob of goo. But again, he lost the weight. Fair play to him. Whatever. It's like I said, I don't even hate the guy. I just don't think he's very good. That's where my beef comes from. But no, I guarantee you, this is what I'm saying. If Aspinall loses to Blades, John Jones ain't gonna retire. He'll have at least one more fight, and it will be against Alex Pereira. I can definitely see that happening. It makes sense for Jones because Jones probably knows in the back of his mind there are very few people right now that have the potential to genuinely topple him in the GOAT debate. I mean, a lot of people think that Mighty Mouse is, but he's never going to get the recognition because he's out of the UFC now, and the mainstream media are always going to push the John Jones narrative. But Alex Pereira has a genuine chance by the end of his career to be in the conversation. So if John Jones is the one to snap that hype and beat him at heavyweight, it's killing two birds with one stone. Whereas Aspinall is never going to be seen as the GOAT. Even if he wins the heavyweight title and wins and defends it 5, 6, 7 times, he's never going to be seen as the GOAT because he's not going to have the competition. Heavyweight is awful. It might be the worst division in the sport. So he's going to have names like Curtis Blades, Ty Burra, Jason Almeida. He'll have those kind of names on his record, which isn't going to do anything for his long-term legacy. Whereas with Pereira, he's already got good names on his legacy. He's beat Izzy, he's beat Blachowicz, he's beat Yeri twice. So yeah. Nikita Krylov was the only one able to beat Pereira. Nikita Krylov's good. I'd definitely give him a chance. I'd give him a chance, but I think based on what we've seen, nobody's going to beat him at light heavyweight. That I hate to admit it, but Ankalaev probably has the best chance. Of everyone that's left, he's probably the worst potential stylistic bad matchup for him, which I hope I'd be wrong about. Reyes off 3 KO losses looks significantly better against Jacoby than Khalil, but you got caught a couple of times as well. Giving back shots to Kayla Harrison probably sounds like clapping with a 2 cast ironing skillet pants. Yeah, she doesn't have much of a... I tell you what though, with Kayla, I know she's muscly and I wouldn't fuck with her for that reason. She's not ugly. She's not ugly. I'll give her that. Like, she's not like hideous. Like, I wouldn't, because I'd feel a bit gauger in the whole thing. But she's not hideous. I think that would be very unfair to say. She's got quite a pleasant face. I'm not going to go as far as to say pretty. I'm just going to say she's not a complete monster, but too muscly for me. Like, I'm sure you were desperate to hear my opinion on that. Let's say Izzy beats DDP, then calls out Alex at 205, and John says he wants to fight Alex as well. Who do you think Alex would fight? He'd fight John Jones. It depends on the timing of it. John Jones is a legacy-defining fight. He's already beat Izzy 3 times. I think if he had to choose between the two of them, but also, there's no way on this planet that Izzy would do that. Izzy would get fucking molested at 205 against Alex Pereira. I know that, again, I'm not the biggest Izzy fan in the world, and we all know that, but I genuinely think that he beat Alex because the weight cuts were too much for Alex at that point. Like, Alex cutting down to middleweight, even though he could pull it off, was clearly fucking him up. And at his age, he looks huge at light heavyweight. Whereas Izzy would struggle to get to that weight. So I don't think Frankie would love to get tossed around by Kayla. I wouldn't mind. I'll be honest. I would not mind. I wouldn't mind a bit of heavy petting, grappling with her. She's not awful. I mean, the thing is, if you're going to do grappling in your life, you're more than likely going to do it with a dude. So you might as well do it with somebody that has a vagina, even if they have muscles. It's a slightly less gay thing to do, but only slightly. Jay-Z, probably Jones already be... Yeah, exactly. So we're morphing into the same person paradox. This is really creepy. He'd take the Izzy fight as a side quest at this point and book JJ fight for the week after. Oh. Imagine if he did something like that. I mean, maybe not the week difference, but like, if anyone would do it, he would. I don't think him and Izzy fight again. And my hope and wish is that DDP somehow beats Adesanya, but I don't think it's going to happen. Is Gary slowly turning into the welterweight Drew Dober? Look how many black guys he's beat. The difference is that Dober actually KOs them. Ian only robs them of their decisions. Ironic, to be fair. um, it's a black guy heavy division. Welterweight is, but you're right. He does seem to be. He's like the anti Chris Dorcas. He's like the opposite of Chris Dorcas, where anytime Chris Dorcas fights anyone black, he just gets absolutely destroyed. But then he just mows his way through white dudes. It's crazy. Is having muscles on a chick kind of a transformer though? Yeah, yeah, it is. That's why I said it's slightly gay. It's slightly less gay. Like I don't like muscles on females in general. I think it's like the last thing you want to do is like be in the middle of business and squeezing somebody who's got a bigger bicep than you. That would really freak me out. So yes, it's definitely kind of a transformer. I can't. I can only see it that way. Dober versus black guys is OP. In what way? You mean he's overpowered? Yeah. He does seem to have that. I mean, he has lost to black guys before, right? It would be starkingly funny if that was the case, where he's got a 100% record against black dudes, but just the white dudes seem to be the ones throwing him off. I think it became more obvious because of the fact that he lost to some white guys that he shouldn't have lost to. Dober's a fucking Chad though, and a very likable kind of dude as well. Um, but to answer your question, Larry, he can't. Maybe Gary is slowly turning into the welterweight Drew Dober. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out, yeah, if he gets that fight with JDM, which would obviously be next if Shavkat and Usman light up. So if he gets bonged out by JDM, oh sorry boys, then you have your answer. Being attracted to muscles and short hair in females is kind of gay in my opinion. I mean, it's hard to argue against that. It really is. It's very hard to argue against that. I've got no defense for it. Like when I said Kayla is kind of like she's not ugly, that's as far as I'm willing to take it. Because body wise, I mean, dude, no. If he is the welterweight Dober, give him Usman to test the theory. Yeah, I don't hate that fight. I think Usman would beat him though. I think Usman would be too strong in the grappling. Ian Gary quietly taking out all the black prospects. MVP really let the side down yesterday. I think like I mean, he will still be able to have some kind of a career left because it's not like he got battered or anything, but it was a terrible, boring fight. And I kind of predicted that it could be. True, Larry, he's taking their whole thing. Yeah. Just a next level of racism, really, isn't it? Just taking the food out of fighters' kids' mouths. It is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to give it another 2 minutes or so. I'm gonna land it evenly on the head at about 3 hours. If there's any last minute things you want to jump into, now's the time. But I will be back tomorrow. And again, we might do I think the live phone-ins went really well yesterday, but it does obviously affect how much we can interact with the chat. So I might just do like little segments where I'll have like people on for 10 minutes at a time. They can cook on something they want to cook about, and then we just move it in and out. Morales at welterweight hasn't fought in a while. He's an exciting prospect. He's quite. The thing is about Michael. Is his name Michael? Yeah, Morales. I know the guy who looks jacked. Like he's very young as well. He's very very young, but he's not in the top 15 yet. I have a feeling he's going to get a very. He's probably looking at a Magny or a Jeff Neal. I imagine a lot of people just sitting outside that welterweight top 15 are going to be looking at those two in particular, because you could very easily get wins over Magny and Neil at this point. I reckon it'd be very easy to do. Anyway, boys, as always, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure. We'll talk about this Discord situation a bit more. Again, sorry about the casual nature for this one, but I'm literally running on fumes, and I figured it was the right thing to do to jump on and talk to you boys tonight and ladies. Much love as always, and yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow about the same time. I should be on. I might come on a little bit earlier. I might do midnight tomorrow, but hopefully, I'll see. I'll make sure I'm not stepping on anybody's toes like Brutalies or ITPs in particular. Yeah, but thanks a lot to all of you. So Connor's Power, Jay Z as always, Paradox with the man. Larry, it was great to see you turning up. Really appreciate it. And anybody brutally, obviously, please subscribe to him if you haven't. Email, great to see you here, and thanks for bringing the drama, man. I love that. I love a bit of drama. It's all good. Gravy or curry sauce with your chips. I'm not really. If I had to choose, I'd probably go gravy, but I don't really like either. Yeah. Good question though. Good question, boys. It's been a pleasure as always. Much love. Have a great rest of the weekend. Yeah, sorry, man. I've got to basically got to take my kid to school in the morning, and I haven't slept. And I've got to get him up in like 4 hours, and he's difficult to wake up. So yeah, Paradox's latest video. I'm going to jump on that as well and leave a comment. So I'm going to do that right now. Do the stummy dance once. I still haven't seen it. I don't know what it is, and I don't imagine it's not something of mine you want to see. All right. I think it would ruin the rest of your weekend. But much love, guys. Thanks to all of you. I'll see you in a bit. Take it easy.